There are a couple of question marks heading into this game, to be completely honest, and I'm here to try to take you through it. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ito, and we're doing something a little bit different than I normally do. Instead of ESEA Main or Advanced or hell, even MDL, we're actually going to be heading into ESEA Latin America for the Open Playoffs. This is the only division that Latin America has for ESEA as well. So I'm hoping to see some interesting talent that could possibly rise up. And speaking of rising up, Snake will be rising up through the connector right into Pocker's crosshair. The crossfire over towards Cat as well isn't exactly as volatile as maybe sNtial would have hoped, as they're actually coming out on the back foot after the fact here. Even Tutu caught off guard over at mid is trying to take a bit of an awkward duel. Wins it with the USP, excuse me. But the bomb going down, and in a very comfortable place for Polar Ace. I think they might have just found number one under their new organization. I gotta say, sNtial, I liked what they were doing with that crossfire, but it just kind of seemed they struggled to win their fights, and I didn't exactly get to see what was happening over at the site itself. But I mean, they just got overwhelmed, didn't they? A kit in play for Tutu. But, I mean, basically there's not much he can do other than just try to stick it. But at that case, at that angle, how do you even pronounce that name? Alarcon? I'm just going to go with Alarcon, but he's going to go ahead and close it out. He's going to make his name known as he puts it in the kill feed. Yeah, it's off to a pretty nice start for Polar Ace. Not the fastest round in the world, but they played that post plant to perfection, got out onto site, and sNtial are going to be left stumbling onto pistols for the second round. They won't be going for any cheeky stack over towards mid or A, anything of the sort. They're just going to go ahead and try to stick with some sort of default and hoping Polar Ace take it a bit too slow for their own good. Smokes Up, however, seem to really decide otherwise. Close will be the first face in towards the site itself here. Checking close bench, checking every which angle, and catching all the CTs out as they're trying to make their merry way into the line of sight of Polar Ace. They're doing a great job at it, but they're not winning the duels, and that is what, I mean, that's just kind of the bread and butter of a lot of these eco rounds too. It's really going to be so hard to do massive damage when you only have USPs and other very weak pistols in your hands. So it's not very flashy, nor does it really even have to be. Polar Ace come out on top of that one pretty much unscathed, get a ton of money under their belt, and set themselves up for success for round number 3. However, sNtial have also tried doing a... Oh, man, Pocker is... he's teleported. But, I mean, it seems like sNtial want to try to make this one work if at all possible, considering they've bought up, fully invested into it after saving for round number 2. So they're already getting a full buy together. Their utility is a little bit weak, but they should be able to make it work just fine. I don't really see any issues arising from that, considering CT side of Mirage, I feel like you can maybe get away with not having as many Molotovs or HEs, anything of the sort. Depends on the team that you're playing against, but I think it's one of those maps where you can kind of pug it out a little bit more. And speaking of puggy, talk about a lovely puggy strat from Pocker. Unfortunately, he gets caught in the back, traded out by Snake, but that was beautiful. I love that slow push through the connector, finds a kill, traded out. And so overall, things stay even. Although I've mentioned it once, I'll say it again. Numbers being at an even, I guess, point of competition means that usually favors the T side. This time, though, they are definitely not winning their duels to boot it. They go down another 2 players, sometimes not even seeing where the others were. And just like that, we're into a 2-on-4 with Polar Ace on the flip side of it this time. First gun round looking awfully convincing from sNtial so far. Polar Ace, they're just going to go ahead and try their very, very best to make it onto the A bomb site here, but the first of many challenges arise in Artemio, who is peeking out over towards jungle. Alarcon gets a kill on him, and Close will take down Tutu, who's pushing over from connector. And now a push onto the site will be in order. Alarcon trades out his teammate, looking for a third in the round, but just barely out of his control. There was just a lot that he had to do there, lots of different angles, lots of fights, one after another, that honestly you can't fault him for not being able to win that one. It was very close, though, I gotta say. I mean, considering it was a 4 versus 2, that is way better damage than I thought it would be for Polar Ace. Speaking of which, I'm pretty sure this was actually the pick of Polar Ace. That is my bad. There we are. Gotta go ahead and fix that. Bam. Alright, so back to the game at hand. sNtial, with their fully invested round that they had last time, they take a decent amount of damage, but they're still able to rebuy some of these rifles, losing them just as quickly as they gained them, apparently. Pocker, who's trying to go for something a little bit sneaky previously, but this time he won't have a chance. 2-2 will step up in his place, excuse me, and find a double. Actually make it 3, but I mean, honestly, I don't exactly feel all too convinced by this round so far. These are some very, like, crazy engagements that are going on. 2-2 just close down the catwalk area. Sure, there's kills coming through from the other players, and Polar Ace are actually able to make it relatively competitive. Case in point right there. Snake actually finds another onto MKN. I think Polar Ace, I mean, this was a little bit what I was worried about. It's just that some of these gunfights were happening so early. There's still plenty of time for players like Snake to find himself in tricky positions. Now 2-2 remains all alone. He's found a triple in the round, and Snake is trying to get his triple. I'm not sure if one of them will be denied. Snake has actually spotted where 2-2 is as well. Doesn't know how dangerously low they are. You could theoretically just toss a nade in, but no, he's going to be going for the bullet elimination. Lines up the shot and gets it. Lovely 1 versus 2 clutch coming out from Snake. Honestly, played to perfection right there. Honestly, I mean, taking it slow, taking it very, very slow, and it paid off in dividends, really. Getting them another round on the board, which off the back of that 3K that came out from 2-2, I would have thought might have been all far gone. I just wasn't fully convinced because positioning could be still very good from Polar Ace, since it seems that they all rotated around where 2-2 is playing as a result. But it's a mistake that can easily be fixed. Still, though, Polar Ace are kicking in this, fully invested yet again. All sNtial only have pistols to really work with here. I'm assuming this is going to be a lot like round number 2 that we saw previously. It's just going to be a whitewash, but maybe sNtial can try to change up the vision a little bit more. Mario holding outside of these apartments, waiting for the T's to start flooding through, and he'll eat a couple of bullets back off into relative safety, though. I don't know why Kun was just pushing out that widely into the site, but he's all by his lonesome. He gets picked off by his lonesome. The trade is there, but now the CTs have started to collapse around this area, and 2-2 is there to try to step up. Only finds a double, but Artemio tries to pick up on his teammate Slack and does a great job at it. Finds a double and makes it a triple for the round. Gorgeous play from the CTs. Make it so round number 2 is not repeated. That was like worst case scenario too. I mean, honestly, there was not a lot of things that could have gone wrong for the T side there as they're doing a contact play over towards B, but they kind of ticked off all those boxes. Oh, it does really hurt to see. I mean, Polar Ace North now going to be on pistols of their own volition and probably won't get as lucky of a draw as the CT's gotten there. Don't get me wrong, there's also plenty of amazing shots being hit. I mean, Artemio in particular, that triple was huge, but I think that double from 2-2 was even bigger. Artemio, though, is continuing to this time wreck more people, this time on pistols. Mario looks to hold down the B-bomb site. He is not going to have any trouble with it. He'll find 2. Eventually flanked from Koklos, but it's still a 1 versus 4 that Koklos needs to overcome, and he just straight up does not have the bullets to make it happen. The dream is nothing more than just a dream. And that'll be evened right up early on Mirage. It does kind of suck. I mean, that was a little bit of a freebie round for the CTs. It's just kind of the punishment, really. I mean, that's what happens when you lose against basically... Actually, no, it was full pistols. I'm not even saying basically full pistols. It was a straight up, you know, Ds, sometimes even USPs. Like, that's just kind of your punishment. You give up 2 rounds as a result. Hell, it actually just might be 3. Because Polar Ace are still on pistols, have a little bit more invested into it. Some half armors going through, utility. But this isn't going to be the rifles that you might hope to see. It becomes about 15 times more harder to do it. Picks already towards mid, go the way of Sentinel. Or sNtial. I don't know. I think sNtial makes sense. sNtial? I'll go with that one. I tried looking up their name, but all I saw was like some tech support company from 2015, so I'm guessing that's not them. But they'll try to get some respect to their name. Artemio is forcing it out from Kun as he gets a nice little double. That second one was a little bit shaky, but it converts into a kill. Against pistols anyway, though, there's, again, not much hope for sNtial if they play their cards correctly. And indeed, they are getting pretty much everything that they could hope for here. Wanveg throws a bit of a wrench in the plans, but he's flanked around from multiple directions, wins that second fight surprisingly against Artemio. So Juan, I mean, he's a little bit crafty. He sneaks around the crosshairs, and he manages to pick up two, so that's better damage than anyone else on his team could do for a while. Two rifles that need to be rebought from the side of sNtial, and well, although they find themselves in the lead, it's looking a little less confident than I would have thought it would be after 2 rounds of saving from Polar Ace Latin America. I'm just going to call them Polar Ace. I think it's simpler if we just call them that. Well, Artemio, I'm just going to go ahead and be calling your name a lot, aren't I? It's easier for everyone if I just say he got a bunch of kills, because he gets a double. Falls, sure. But, I mean, that's the Krieg really coming into play and just shows how lethal it is. Now a man down, Polar Ace North barely got their head into this one in the first place, and they might have to duck out already. The money is not at all very good for them. This might be another case where they have to save if they end up falling for this one, or falling on this round, excuse me. Lots of util in play. They can make an execute happen. But only one smoke, and I think that's probably the most important element to really making a volatile push happen. So, Polar Ace now consolidating over towards the B-bomb site. sNtial, they're being awfully careful to their own right as well. Actually, I really like this position from 2-2. Watches a lot of very important areas. Can also be ready for the cat rotate whenever ready. Mario being the first face. Will possibly have 3 heads that he has to try to snipe off here. 2-2 already getting right into the action to try to help out the B-bomb site. Great spray through. On to 1, the second as well. And now Kun is left all alone again. Another clutch that he has to try to pull off. That nade is not going to help his case whatsoever. And 20 seconds left to go, giving up his sightline, giving up his position. This has basically gone from unlikely to near impossible. There's not much time left on the clock for him to make his move, but it needs to happen quickly. He's being pushed in by all angles. And, I mean, that is just very well played by sNtial, I gotta say. At the same time, though, I really could feel the hesitation that Kun was probably, feeling at that moment. It was a really tricky position that he was in, 1-on-3. I mean, it is kind of a gamble if you want to try to get the bomb down, or if you just really want to try to play for elimination. There wasn't much time either way, and he was afraid of just getting pushed on. But, I mean, in a perfect world, that would be a bomb down and then a play from there. Looks like we have a tactical pause coming through. Would be a good time for... Oh, no, it was a... Yeah, it was a tactical. Okay. Well, it's a decent way for Polar Ace to maybe talk about things for a second, because, I mean, I'm trying to think of, like, what the main thing going wrong there over towards B was. It really just kind of did feel like they were losing the gunfights, and it's really hard to make a full straight-up execute happen if you're not hitting those shots, nor if you have any smokes. It's just a really difficult situation. I don't think it's the end of the world. Oh my god, though. It might be the end of the line for 3 players on Polar Ace. In the matter of seconds, Artemio sprays them all down. And this is exactly why he was my player to watch. Sure, I know he has a Krieg, and I know the Krieg is the noob gun, but he is making everybody on Polar Ace look like noobs. Takes down 3. Poker and 2-2 chime in for number 4 and 5. And it's 6-3 sNtial. Definitely looking so much better than the beginning of this game was for them too. On the CT side of Mirage, it is statistically, favored for them. But still, I mean, okay, look, that was a round of a bunch of pistols from Polar Ace. I guess you can't expect crazy results, but I mean, a window smoke missing like that is not something that should be happening. Luckily, that seems to be better this time around. I'm not sure if the smoke was denied by, the player in window just blocking it out manually, but God, it's just everywhere they go. Polar Wraith are just meeting so much conflict. They're getting sniped down by 2, 3 people, and well, it's just really hard to do anything in that kind of situation, isn't it? Koklos on 12 HP, Krieg. I mean, at what point does he just decide to save this gun? It's a really tough ask to actually go for this, but having to save for a minute isn't really much better, especially since sNtial have the money. They can definitely afford to try to take this gun out of Koklos' hands. It's been a really rough past couple of rounds for Polar Wraith, considering that although they have the full loss bonus coming through, it's still going to be very, very risky, I guess is one way to put it, to pie up into this next one here. They'd have to give up at least some sort of utility. They'd have to really change up a little bit here. Koklos seems committed to the save. I'm surprised sNtial actually aren't trying to hunt for him a little bit more. You see Pocker, who's kind of in the front lines, prodding around a little bit. They have a couple of players playing around bomb. That makes sense, but I'm surprised there isn't a little bit more exploration going on, especially considering that huge money buffer that the CTs have in the at the moment, which is only about to get more plentiful in about 10 seconds time. 6-3, now made 7-3. sNtial are really starting to fire on all cylinders on the CT half. Even when they don't get all the kills at the end of the day, they manage to have Koklos sneak on by with a Krieg. It's still like a very weak attempt from Polar Wraith so far. Maybe they're late bloomers. Who knows? I mean, look, they made it this far, Polar Wraith, and I think they actually even have a better regular season record than sNtial did, so I have hope. I still very much do have hope for what Polar Wraith can try to pull off here. That's a very nice start. The Krieg saved turns out to be the slayer of Artemio into this one here, and maybe I'm starting to have a little bit of hope now. They've taken down someone who's been a massive pain in their sides. I mean, he's at 15 kills, Artemio. He has been a real beast. Alarcon gets another one into his team's favor, and although 2-2 will strike back, he's been a masterclass over towards Catwalk. They haven't bled any more players, and that is what's so important for Polar Wraith. I gotta say, they're still keeping this numbers advantage. They get decent information. And so, with this, again, this advantage that they have, this opportunity, they can try to make it something a little bit more promising now. Pocker now hides under Palace, waiting, has plenty of sound cues at the ready in case anything goes south. Oh, Snake. This is such a good read. I'm not sure if 2-2 actually watched for it. He was just doing a little bit of a consolation peek over towards mid. Now backing off, now dismounting from ladder entirely here. That flashbang is going to give away 2-2's position, and because of that, Snake will be able to win that duel no problem. Pushing out onto the A site, but he has to keep an eye out on Pocker, who is still lurking at Palace. Finds 3 players! It's unbelievable. Pocker, I didn't expect to be that lethal, but here I am saying his name, screaming his name. As sNtial probably got to be doing the exact same thing. He treads his way to victory, stealing that round away from the grasp of Polar Ace. That is unbelievable. That play, that flank, just played out to absolute perfection. The only area it seems like they weren't checking was Palace, and of course, that's their luck. Pocker was right there waiting to take down 3 members. That is absurd. In all other scenarios, Polar Ace won that round. That's like what's really the depressing part about it, is that the T's, after such a dire half this has been, only made more so of. That's, man, 2-2 in Artemio. What can I say? Get another couple of kills. It just adds to the tally for sNtial at this point. And, I mean, as I was saying, this Polar Ace half has been very, I guess, weak so far. Sure, they've gotten 3 rounds, but it's been a long drought of time since they've gotten that. Pocker, oh god, he's even pushing up mid. He's going to make situations worse for Polar Ace. He has a bomb in his grasp. Doesn't even matter. All the T's are going to be dead by the time sNtial even have chances, or have a chance rather, to react. They're falling apart at the seams, it feels like, Polar Ace, as they look to try to rally themselves for another 3 rounds, the final 3 rounds on the T half of Mirage. Again, this is a best of 3. There's still potential 2 more maps after this one, so I mean, plenty of time for both these teams to come alive, and, you know, maybe one of these teams will feel fatigued, maybe the other doesn't. Who knows? There's a lot of questions yet to be answered for the time being. They won't be answered just yet. Koklos and Kun. I mean, Koklos, actually, that's not really game-changing damage, but Kun, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. Make sure to check this one off your bingo list for phrases Ito likes to say, but that one-shot potential for the M4A4s is there. It's still very much there, and that can matter a lot, because Tutu is holding underneath by Get Right with these said M4s. Double Smokes goes out towards Archers to try to force Tutu out of position. First kill also goes the way of Kun. Very nice start so far for Polar Ace Latin America, and indeed, they'll try to capitalize upon that opportunity with a second kill. Finally traded out will be Alarcon as MKN comes up from behind and snatches away one from CT, but sNtial, are they actually saving on this? Oh my god, they have so much respect to the name. They don't even want to bother with a 3 versus 4, despite them having so much money. I mean, hell, they could buy for rounds to come. They could easily go for this if they wanted to, but they're playing it slow, they're playing it safe, and probably playing it smart, let's be honest here. They're not going to take any gambles, any risks whatsoever. They just choose to save their newfound weaponry, including an AK-47 in Pocker's hands, so Christ, that's respect, I gotta say, from the CTs. It was definitely one of those situations where they very much did not have to save. Again, 12K on some of the members. Their poorest player after buying has 7.6K. Like, that is something else. It's been smooth sailing for the most part, but even when the tides are getting a little bit rougher, sNtial still trying to at least bring their best form. Double snipers committed into round number 14. One of the final of the half for Polar Ace to make this a little bit more of a competitive game. Right now, 9-4. It's not terrible, but it's not too great either, and it's just kind of passable. Things might get worse too. This is looking to be a 3 versus 5, just in a matter of time. Great shot from Alarcon, entries out, double. Oh god, I didn't expect him to actually get that double entry, but again, here I am. These have been some insane solo plays from a couple of these players now. Mario strikes back, but again, just tapping away Alarcon. I don't know how he gets that. I could do that. I could practice that shot in deathmatch all day and not hit it. But Alarcon, he pulls up clutch. Now a 3 versus 2 they have to overcome, and well, it looks like he's not going to be hitting any more shots, nor has he been able to pass on the legacy to Juan Veg. Maybe Koklos can go ahead and try to keep the dream alive here. A 1 versus 3 for him to overcome. Sprays down the first 2. However, Mario's holding down the bomb, and it's just going to be a free defuse behind that smoke. Sure, cool, you get the kill after the fact, Koklos, but it's a bittersweet feeling. sNtial still have money to come. I mean, it's going to be no problem. They're going to fully invest into this one here. They could get that double AWP if they felt like it as well. I don't feel like it was exactly a game changer in that last round. But at the same time, I mean, the only reason that round had any firepower behind it was that incredible double kill coming out from Alarcon. Oh, man. Kun even gets a leg shot onto Kun. Or, excuse me, Artemio gets a leg shot onto Kun, rather. He's down to 17 HP. He was smoked off and everything, too. That is just, like, a very depressing way to start the round, especially when you're already 10-4 down. I feel like 10-5 is going to be a pretty important scoreline for Polar Ace to get. Will it be possible? That's another question entirely, but they are off again to the sweetest start. Kun on 17 points of health is basically on life support for the time being. That's not going to be changing up until the second half. Artemio Head on a swivel, swivels around into the right direction for 1 kill, nearly gets a second, but Alarcon briefly evades him for the time being. 1 kill, that surely goes in favor of Polar Race Latin America, but getting any more from here feels a little bit tough because the CTs have all rotated their way over to the site. Polar Race still committing to it, might just be running straight into a death trap, and they might not be ready for it. Pocker holding close over towards Palace. 2-2. God even knows where he was. He's going to be able to find one, and it is an absolute slaughter on the A bomb site. Every direction, every which way they turn, there are members of sNtial ready to just hit them down. It's 11-4 at halftime here, but this is kind of feeling brutal recently. I mean, it definitely feels like that at least. The rounds where the CTs have come out on top, they have come out on top very convincingly. You know, like so many players being left alive. It's the reason why the CT economy was so healthy in the first place. I mean, also, you know, proper respect to, again, the CT side for saving in a situation like that. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I think even at like North America advanced level, I'd see teams go for like, you know, a retake in the 3 versus 4 like that. But no, I mean, they just straight up give the round to Polar Ace just because they took the site like that. I mean, they're playing really disciplined right now, which is not something I was expecting to see fully going into this. sNtial, it's working out for them. I mean, oh God, Sully, yo, thank you so much for the host. Holy crap. That is huge. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate it, man. Lots of love. Heart emoji. I hope your cast went well, and, you know, I actually don't know who won. Was it Buff Daddy 2-0? That's my guess. Was sad Faint got 2-0? Dang it. That sucks. Yeah, Buff Daddy are just on something else right now. It's crazy. They just seem extremely dominant. And, you know, actually, I think that kind of ties into my main point of what I was saying, that Polar Ace Latin America, or excuse me, sNtial are playing super disciplined, and I said how I wouldn't see that like level of respect in like NA Advanced, and I mean, I think Buff Daddy's PayPal team is one of those cases where I wouldn't see them saving the 3 versus 4. They would just straight up go for it. Especially since, again, they had over 10K in their pockets. It's just absurd. Anyway, by the way, Sully, thank you so much again for the host. I really do appreciate it. I just hope your cast went well, at least on a personal basis. Faint isn't out of this, right? They go to losers finals, I think. I'm interested in what the other game's turning out like, too. I haven't really been able to keep up with the results. I think it's going on right now. Yeah, Blood, Sweat, and Tears versus Ethereal. Ooh, Ethereal 1 map 1? Oh, that's huge. Man, are we going to see Blood, Sweat, and Tears actually lose? That would be crazy. Again, a little bit of a halftime before we head into this next game. It's going to be a little bit. But, I mean, hey, all of you who came from Sully's stream, it seems that you guys really missed on the action that you saw in the first half. But quick little summary. I mean, sNtial, we're giving a lot of respect to Polar Ace. I got to say, Polar Ace really struggled in a lot of their early rounds in particular. Their executes weren't too bad. I'm thinking about one of those rounds, again, the 3 versus 4 where sNtial saved. I mean, that execute onto the B bomb site was clean. It was really good. They're getting all the kills that they needed to. They smoked off Get Right from, you know, both sides of the archway as well. I mean, it really seemed like a proper execute, but we just saw so few of those, and it was a bit unfortunate to watch. Considering this is the map pick of Polar Ace, I'm really hoping to see something more come out of them on now the opposing side. Switching over to CT in due time, I'm sure. But no, they just are having a very tactical halftime. There we are. We're finally back into this. Half number 2. Polar Ace, definitely a lot to prove. Not only do they have a new org that they're going to be representing, but they are not looking all too great in map number 1 of their debut match. 4-11, sNtial only needing 5 rounds to close out the enemy's map pick. I mean, really, the storyline kind of writes itself. It's looking very, very good for sNtial, and it's hard to say otherwise. Setting up for an A execute. Mario looks like he'll be leading the charge in. Oh, this could be volatile. I'm a little bit scared, but it seems that Polar Ace are quite ready for it. Alarcon going to be watching, tapping away at the ramp most likely. No, he's actually just going to let them go by. Let Juan do some of the damage, but he's going to receive some damage instead. MKN with a great shot onto Wanveg to open things up, excuse me. Although Snake gets one in response, it's still MKN who's able to find two. And two for the price of one. I mean, that's a good deal, and I think sNtial will take it any day of the week. Another one goes the way of the T's as well, as this is looking to be an open and shut case. We're well on our way to a 4-12 scoreline here, and only Koklos can try to convince me otherwise. Smoke off, try to get on the bomb here. It was a nice try, but the wires gave away exactly where he was defusing from, so I mean, what can he do other than just let it happen? Polar Ace, well, definitely not the start that they wanted into the second half. I feel that is a understatement even. Just, I mean, even that 3-stack setup over towards A really did not find any kills. They were just run over by Glocks, and sNtial setting up for another A execute just like that. They are perfectly fine just using a lot of utility to try to dedicate to this area here. Stacked up over towards B will be all of Polar Ace, minus Snake. So Snake's all by his lonesome, and let's see if he can slither himself into a very sneaky position. Already caught out. Gets a kill on his way to the grave, bringing someone down with him, but 4 versus 4 as the bomb goes down. It's another situation where sNtial, I don't see a world where they lose this. Pretty much everything that could have gone their favor, at least in this round, is. Retake effort is on, though, from the CT side, and the shots, although a little bit clumsy, will convert into kills. It seems a bit hectic on the side of sNtial, but it eventually is meeting its logical conclusion with only one victim to speak of. Poor Mario. He unfortunately will be, or he fortunately will have another one up into this. He's 9-10. Hasn't been exactly having the loudest game. It's really been 2-2 in Artemio, I feel, stealing all of the frags. There's just not enough kills to go around, it feels like sometimes. Polar Ace North, again, fully investing into this one here. Or not again, but this is actually the first time they've fully invested into this round, which I think is possibly a good addition, considering that one-way smoke goes out over towards mid. Or that connector smoke actually blocks off a lot more than I thought it would. Koklos can still peek out on the other side of it. sNtial already begins their just swift execute onto the A bomb site. This is the 3rd time in a row that they've done it, and it's looking like it's going to work 3 times in a row as well. The bomb's already down in a 5 versus 5. 1 kill, yeah, sure, it goes their way, but I really don't see this failing. Oh, maybe the shots could actually convince me otherwise here. Bomb tapped, and it's a wild spray across multiple players. Pocker trying to hold the line desperately. Bomb is being stuck, and Bomb will be unstuck. Just like that. It's a much quicker and very solid retake from Polar Ace Latin America. I mean, I had conflicting thoughts about it. But, well, they dashed them away, didn't they? They're still not out of the woods, though. That's kind of the scary part about playing CT in the current year, is that even when you win the round relatively confidently, if your enemy gets a bomb down, you're still going to be able to have enough for Kriegs, AKs, all the works. Pretty much everything that they could hope for, and it is a dream for Artemio to start things off. Looking down over towards mid, finds Koklos, nearly takes down Snake as well. Snake, oh, he's got to be counting his lucky stars that he's managed to get away from this one in a relatively healthy state. Still time for things to go horribly wrong, though. Polar Ace, I mean, look, they haven't had the most solid foothold in this game. It feels hard to really count them in, but if they can make a comeback happen, it all starts on a round like this, and it's looking a little bit sweeter for them now as Snake gets taken out by the hands of Pocker. Perhaps the beginning of an A execute will be in order from sNtial. It's something that they've done 3 rounds in a row previously, so why not try to make it number 4, right? Kun hiding under palace here. Oh, unfortunately loses the duel against 2-2. I feel that is a pretty good summary of how it's been sometimes for Polar Ace. They have like really decent positions on where they could possibly be, but unfortunately just can't quite hit the shots to boot. And they're just not being able to, or they're not able to piece together much of anything. Map pick just might slip by their wayside as Polar Ace, their money now in a very strange position. They have to gamble whether they want to force into this one or play for OT. They've decided to bet all on red. Let's hope that their gamble pays off. Smoke expended in spawn for some reason? I think that was a fail smoke. Oh man, that's already a bad start for Polar Ace. sNtial, again, only one away from bringing match point. We'll force OT if nothing else, but with how they're playing right now, I could see this being a swift defeat for Polar Ace. One kill already goes way of Artemio. He has been lighting it up every site, every place that he goes. He is just able to get kills, or at least tag up a decent amount of damage onto any player that he sees, and it's suffocating. It honestly is. Another one of those Murphy's Law situations where everything that could have gone wrong for Polar Ace is going wrong. Not winning a single one of these duels so far in round number, 20? That luck might change though. Close makes a little bit of noise as he steps out from CT. I think he might have tagged down that player. No, he didn't even. Actually, it was 2-2. Yeah. Oh my god. 2-2 still unhit. A 2 versus 5. There's no way Polar Ace go for this, right? They seem dedicated to the cause. It kind of shows the difference in between teams, doesn't it? You know, sNtial, when they're in this place previously, they would just save their guns, and I mean, hell, that might have actually been the better decision in this case. They're trying to really make a wonderful retake happen, but it falls flat on its face. 5-15, and this story on map number 1 might be drawing to a close very, very quickly. As I think sNtial just might snatch it away in a very convincing fashion. The buy to convince me otherwise is not really looking promising. Scout on Khan over towards mid. Doesn't even get the early tag. That's unfortunate. That's something that sNtial were able to get a lot on their CT side. Bit of a switch up. They're actually flashing up Cat super early, and Alarcon is already down. Oh, it just gets sweeter and sweeter for sNtial, doesn't it? They're setting up for an A execute. It seems like already pushing their way in towards apartments, ready to make their embarkment onto the site at any moment now. Snake holds the line pretty much all by his lonesome. Has his teammate Kun to help him out, and he might not even need the help. Snake is holding the line a decent amount, but you'll get overwhelmed by the just numerous T's that are in his path. Getting the bomb down, that is way too risky for MKN to go for. He's learned his lesson though. He'll take it to the grave with him. But the bomb is retrieved, and a 3 versus 2 still has sNtial on the forefront of winning this one. Oh man, that could have been a real decent shot for Wanbeg as well, but it's just all going up in flames. It's a very lopsided map number 1. Polar Ace drop their map pick. It's just a very unfortunate way to start things off. It's not the end of the world, but they're definitely going to need a change when we head on to Dust 2. Shouldn't be all too long. It feels like we're going to be speedrunning this series at this point here. I'm going to be tossing it to a quick break real quick. We'll have a little bit of music playing. But if you guys enjoy, please feel free to drop a follow on either my Twitter or Twitch. I'll go ahead and drop the links while I bring it to some music. I'll see you guys very soon for map number 2. It's going to be Dust 2. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you then.
Red signs like holy Keep everything that spills out of the dark locked up behind your lips. It's blooming out of nothing but a thought, like secrets that slowly slip. Shadow in the spotlight, no stars inside, chasing the daylight. If you don't care, I don't care. We're out after midnight. You're glowing like the writing on the wall. I finally meet you again. We're slowing down under the moon, painted trails where we've been. Shadow in the spotlight, no stars inside, chasing the daylight. If you don't care, I don't care. We're out after midnight. We're out after midnight.
Tuning out of starlight, the innocent lifetime flickers and flashes under a canvas. No, nobody seems worth it, while the feeling's sophisticated. The view is so restrained. The past is nearing closer and closer, I fear. So let's just cut the bullshit and tell me who's independent. Thumbs twiddling and your life's escaping your mind. Keep in mind, well, the air ain't as free as it used to be, but that's quite alright when you're still 18, it seems to be. And I'll tell you who's overrated. What's a beautiful person with some hideous dreams? Well, the lining isn't silver. We're verging on the side of the road that'll take us home. The edge of us is getting weighed. Read about your life in your local papers. Realize the end of us is getting near. You're just a droplet of paint trickled off your canvas. Delirious illusions flowing backwards through the river of color, while we analyze to try to see it clearer. Secretly appealing to a lonely prisoner. Now what's your vision? Initiate your shading, blend the universe together. In time it only gets a little easier. Suddenly piece yourself back together now. What's your vision?
suddenly we are back for more Counter-Strike. Map number 2 underway. Now, map number 1, I think it's fair to say it was very, very one-sided. Ace Latin America were unable to get away with pretty much anything. And sNtial just seemed to have their number left, right, and center. It was competitive towards the start, but then it really started to get a little bit crazy. It was so many rounds in a row, it felt like, for sNtial. Trying to change their luck on map number 2 will be Ace. They started on the CT side of Dust 2, so this map pick from sNtial. Look, let me just put it this way here. If sNtial played that comfortably on Inferno, which is the map pick of the enemy, I just want to know what they have in store for us on D2. Right now, all it seems that they have in store for us is a couple of missed shots from Kun, unfortunately. I've been there, Kun. I know exactly what it feels like to have that USP. It feels like it never hits any bullets, or never feels like it hits any heads. It's the unfortunate way, but well, at least he gets one before he falls. Now we'll have it left onto his teammates back to try to make this round happen. CT is now pushing over towards long, or the T is now pushing up towards the site itself and taking long control as well. It feels like with a couple of shots, they have made it theirs with a swing of a wand. We might see round number 1 go in their favor. Alarcon, alone against 3 members, has probably not the best shot of making this one happen, and indeed, he'll just make it a swift defeat for him. So 1-0, nice little start for sNtial in map number 2. In Ace, it's well, it's definitely looking. Okay, I have to say, I feel like that was a little bit more promising, that pistol round. It was just a little rough how they ended up losing Cat, and I feel like that mid presence. I mean, I guess from a third-person perspective, you have to look at the bigger picture. This is not something I would do in game, but it really, from the third-person perspective, I wasn't liking how much they were trying to force make control when sNtial basically had full control and were able to get up Cat almost uncontested. There's 2 players at the ready, close Cat, but they just were not straight up hitting their shots. It feels like only one person was trying to exchange bullets with sNtial. It's a gunfight they win, and confidently at that. Kun, peeking over towards mid doors at the moment, loses fight against Artemio. Artemio, also another name that I want to bring up here, was absolutely on fire for map number 1. And, well, he gets at least stomped out this time by the pistols. He's eventually overwhelmed. It's going to be a nice little gun for them to work with. A Scout, great. I mean, it's a consolation prize again. It's like a party favor that you would get. A cheap plastic toy that maybe you can take home with you, but that cheap plastic toy is doing some real damage now. They've taken down another member, and possibly a third is even on the line for him as well, as Mario holds the corner. I have no clue how that one didn't hit, but it looked dead on, but maybe he's just going to be dead instead. Yeah, 2-on-3 for the retake. Ace are still going for it, but they have to soon know that all hope is lost, because Wanveg can't quite seem to hit the shots. There we are, he gets it in the end. And now, well, he's just trying to get a little bit more damage onto the remaining members of sNtial if he can, but no, they'll respect it. Again, safe play from the T side. We saw a lot of it on Mirage, despite them overwhelmingly winning that map. Now on the fast track of putting themselves in a good situation. If they win this gun round, this could decide, I'm not going to say all. There's still plenty more CS to be played. But it would be a very nice start, and they would just keep riding that momentum like they did in the first map, sNtial. It's a super important one for Latin America, or for Ace rather, to win. I think they have to realize it as well. They're playing a little bit safer. Their lack of utility makes it hard for them to hold down B in particular. Alarcon just kind of jiggle peeking on this, or towards the scout of Artemio, who's holding him ramp. That's not ramp, excuse me. That's tunnel. But I guess I can go ahead and speak about ramp. Wanveg is holding there. Perhaps I should stop looking at the radar when I'm trying to call out what's going on the current POV, shouldn't I? We're all learning here. I think sNtial have learned that B might be their best opportunity. MKN holding down towards long, making sure no one pushes, and since he's effectively cleared that out for the time being, he can start prodding towards mid now. A mid B split in order. I like how smart they're, or how slow they're playing this though, sNtial. Look at this. It's a straight up execute onto the site, but they're being executed just like that too. The M4s are reigning supreme over 2 members, 3 members now, and I mean, it's a multi-pronged push from sNtial, but it is just not working out. This time, it's sNtial on the receiving end of some of these gunfights, and they can't win any single one of them, apparently. Sure, Pocker will get one as he falls, but that was really all Alarcon. A gorgeous quadra-kill hold to keep his team not only in it, but they make him win it as well. I say him because that really did feel like a solo effort in a lot of ways. I mean, that was brilliantly done by Alarcon. He was holding down that area so smoothly and really didn't make the T's look like much of a challenge whatsoever. Their next challenge rises very, very shortly after it as well, though. sNtial immediately get B-Ton's control, so it's looking a lot like we saw for round number 3. But they're now going to divert the path a little bit, bring it over towards mid instead. 2-2 holding out long. Can make a little bit of noise to try to catch some of these members off guard of Polar Ace, excuse me. But surely, just based off on artillery alone, Polar Ace should be able to snatch this one into their favor. Kun gets things off to a nice little start, takes down Pocker. And yeah, well, there it is. The M4s. Polar Ace definitely seem very comfortable with them. There'll be a couple of pistol frags going the way of the T's for the time being, but overall, about as smooth as a finish as I think sNtial could have, or have, Polar Ace could have hoped for. sNtial, not much so. Well, okay, that's a little bit more damage. Don't exactly know how Artemio was able to get away with that one, but perhaps a misread. It's another one down the drain, and okay, well maybe I can start taking back what I said. It's crazy the difference that one gun can make, but now 3 players damage taken down entirely, in fact, maybe makes this a little bit more promising for sNtial, because it destroys the economy of Polar Ace just a little bit more. That can really start to hurt down the line if it keeps up in this sort of fashion. Artemio basically has granted himself a free plant here. He's going to plant super safely here. Kun, does he not realize it? It's down on sight and he doesn't realize it. There you are. He does now, surely. Tap, tap, tap away. Artemio spots the player. Now will choose to not take the fight just yet. Knows that there is another player who's yet to be seen, but the player who was seen is going to be the eventual assassin. Polar Ace tied up early on Dust 2. I mean, I think that was another important round for Polar Ace to win. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised it got that far in the first place. I feel like sNtial should have been stopped in their tracks, but getting 3 guns down plus a bomb plant is actually really significant and changes up the equation a little bit more. I mean, just because of that, again, as I mentioned, Polar Ace are not going to be able to put together that stable economy that they would have hoped for. They're going to have to expend a little bit more money into their M4s or whatever they want to buy. They've been looking really sharp, at least from the small sample size that we've seen so far, but I mean, sNtial, we saw what they can do as well. I just don't know if it'll hold. Small little tech pause. It seems that Juan has dropped out for the time being. Probably just restarting his game. Probably saying like, why aren't my shots hitting? And hey, I don't blame him. Still relatively early on D2, but again, I think it's worth noting that this is the map pick of the side of Polar or of sNtial. Not really sure when we're going to see them start going absolutely bonkers, start bringing out some of the crazy strats, or if there even will be much of anything there. Closest we saw to a full-on strat was that mid-B split that they tried to execute, but it was just really, I mean, lukewarm. It didn't really accomplish much of anything. They were just all dead by the time the 2 players from mid tried pushing their way out towards the B ramp. Again, it's still early on. There's plenty of time for that forecast to change, but, maybe Polar Ace do have a chance on map number 2. There's still time yet, that's for sure. Wait, this is actually the map pick. Yeah, okay. Map pick of Polar Ace. I was correct in that regard. I'm pretty sure. I mean, both these teams have had pretty impressive runs to get here in the first place. I don't think they're going to be straight up making me think, like, how did they get here? I mean, they definitely deserve their slot. They have worked hard, and they have gotten some strong victories behind it. Now they need to put up, hopefully not shut up. Round number 5 underway. sNtial fully investing into this one here. You see plenty of players on just $0. Not something that really inspires confidence. The quick cat boost is really slow from Kun, I gotta say. It's barely going to make a difference. Not that sNtial have really been going for any quick cat aggression so far, but I don't really see it as convincing so far. But, I mean, hey, maybe I'm always wrong, you know? That was a gorgeous one from Kun. Peeks down into lower tunnels with the help of his little friend, Close, and, well, that's a very convincing way to start the round off. Definitely going to be a good way to break the ice and break the stalemate that's currently in order. Makes life harder for the T side now. Starting to push their way over towards B. Bomb is lagging a little bit behind. And it might dissuade sNtial from actually pushing out towards B. They've indeed switched up their setup. It's looking a lot more like mid-B. MKN will be the one leading the charge. Looking over towards CT to start things off. Snake will toss down a nice little welcome mat in the form of a Molotov cocktail. Wow, look at this. So much confidence. To not even look over towards window, but I think confidence might just be a bit unlucky for them, I guess. These pushes are very staggered and coming out at weird times, and it's catching all the players off guard on either sides of the equation. Sure, trades are coming through, and 2-2 now has to compromise his really strong position that he could have had over towards CT, but they're winning the fights to book it, or to boot, excuse me. So I don't think it's really going to spell the end of the round by any stretch of the imagination, especially with the last player being Close again alone in a 1-on-2, pushing through the smoke, and he wants to end it right here, right now. Nearly got the spray transfer off, but getting Artemio for almost nothing is absolutely huge. Surely we'll be able to close it out versus 2-2, but why was I ever worried? 2-2 is a monster, and I think we have learned that from map number 1. Continuing the form in map number 2 solidifies another victory as they snatch it away from Polar Ace. Polar Ace, that was definitely a round that I don't think they should have lost. Again, it was another one where a lot of things were going their way. They got that initial kill off at the hands of Kun, who, speaking of which, is still trying to prod at mid, this time from a little bit more of a vertical angle. I don't know how he gets away with shots like that too. The trades are actually really strong with these pistols, and I think this trading game is really, in a word, in a phrase maybe, probably the most convincing part about Polar Ace so far. I love the way that they do these early setups and trades and stuff like that, and I think it could actually get them a lot of wiggle room to play with. You know, I would love to see a lot more if they can actually afford to do it. It is a bit risky against a team like this who's hitting all their shots, but you know, something again like Fast Cat and trying to peek into lower tunnels by boosting up somebody. I think it could actually suit them really well. 2-2, closing things out in a quiet fashion here. Finds a double against the pistols. 2 guns expended for the T side. I mean, again, it's okay damage done. Polar Ace, it's not going to be enough to convince them for another full buy-up. We'll use a bit of cash, a little bit of their reserve savings to put together a scout and a couple of pistols all around it. We're seeing some earlier aggression come out from Polar Ace already. Seeing now they're trying to pick over towards mid. Kun has been really the one doing all this initial prodding work, but this time he's relegated that to Snake for the time being. Smoke out over towards tunnel. Flashes, smokes out from sNtial over towards mid as well. Just based off of utility alone. That's a hard phrase to say. Definitely slight edge for sNtial, and wow, I did not expect Pocker to die there, but somehow Snake catches him off. He's just overwhelmed by 2 players at CT, apparently. 2 CTs at CT. That's actually a really convincing start. I mean, Polar Ace, this is a round that I was not expecting them to win whatsoever, but they've already burned a decent amount of time off the clock. The map control isn't all too crazy from sNtial, all things considered. They just now started to make their way up towards Catwalk. Mid is still a very big question mark, and long is basically enemy territory. And mid is closed as well. Apparently Kun with a great shot with that scout. Goes exploring and he's starting to get it. This is what I like to see out of Polar Ace. Some of that early aggression. It's suiting them rather well. I want to see if they can finish the job though. That is going to be a completely other beast to deal with here. And it's something that I'm not sure if they're going to be up to the challenge of. Again, it becomes so hard when they have deagles and scouts in a scenario like this here. But they're closing the gap. They're making it work so well. 2-2. Eventually finds himself alone, tosses down a nice little grenade, and follows up with a couple of shots behind it here, but he's being flanked around by all sides. Can't quite close it out versus Kun. And it's Kun and Snake really getting all the kills there. Sure, Close chimes in with one as well, but I love the way those two players collapse on the side of sNtial. These aggressive CT setups. It's, I think, the most promising part about Polar Ace so far. I mean, I love it. I think it's something that they can easily exploit because sNtial, I mean, they're just getting caught off guard by it a decent amount of times. I mean, think about the number of times where sNtial, when they're trying to get cat control and stuff like that, they just weren't ready for a person to just kind of wide swing out mid, come out with a scout, just blam, instantly dead. sNtial, at least when it comes to structured pushes, they seem at least ready for it. But something like that, it's hard to predict and a bit frustrating to play against, perhaps. This mid-aggression has probably been the most telegraphed part of the defense so far, though. But even then, it still works. Unbelievable. Kun. Gorgeous shots through the door. Takes down Poker. Opens things up and even tags down MKN a decent amount, too. Again, that one-shot potential comes through for the M4s. And, well, Mario, now he's tagged up as well, but he's gotten a kill at least. Now evened up. Things become slightly more palatable for sNtial, but still not that easy. Artemio, well, he's got to hit something like that here. Unfortunately, he's stuck behind the railings. Again, yeah, the T's have taken sight here. But that's the least of their worry, or that's, I guess, the easiest part done. This post plant is going to be real lethal if Polar Ace play their cards right. They have so much utility to work with here. Grenades are basically something they are at a very low percentage of messing up. They could just toss down a Molotov anywhere on site and get huge dividends from it. Again, trades coming through. T's slightly on the back foot because of this one here, and even made more of that situation. As Artemio falls, Mario finds himself in a 1-on-2 here. Gets the first kill, only on 2 HP. He needs to try to close it out, and he does versus Juan Veg. And Juan, that was a bit too risky, a bit too ambitious to go for a defuse like that, and it's going to cost you with a round. There's silver linings to take from it. That's to be completely certain, though. It wasn't the worst. I mean, honestly, there was a lot of promising things that Polar Ace did. That aggression didn't exactly have a chance to come through, but the shots from Kun definitely are through. Gorgeous. Takes down Artemio, and Kun has really been a superstar. I'm not even sure. Yeah, he's not leading the... No, he's leading the scoreboard. Okay, so he's impressing on the statistical front as well, but I feel he has been really the biggest problem for sNtial to deal with so far. He's already gotten a kill just a couple of seconds striking into this round, and he's looking for number 2. It's a bit ambitious. Very ambitious, in fact, as he spawns the second player. We'll back up just a little bit. He's still trying to look for something a little bit more. Tags another player down. It's MKN who's hurting. Again, I love it. Polar Ace, this is exactly what they need to do to catch sNtial off guard. These things are just distracting them from being able to set up a full execute. It's really starting to mess up their timings, and it's really messing up a lot of different things. I just don't know if it's sustainable, but hell, you would hope it is. Hope to see map number 3. Bit of an awkward exchange over at mid. Leads to no kills coming through, but a decent amount of tag damage. And pushing out into the site itself, Alarcon is there, present, ready to close things out. As Kun is overwhelmed, rather. Great shot from Mario. I didn't even expect him to get that one here. He's done it all so far. He's at 3 kills. Surely going to be able to make it number 4, but it's Poker to steal it away. Now, what was once such a glorious looking round to start off has fallen into just absolutely nothing. Polar Ace, starting it out in a 3 versus 5, have somehow lost the round. It just kind of goes to show how, one, how hard the B site is to retake on Dust 2, and also just how hard those Eagles can be to work with late into a round. Yo, what's up, Mobs? Thanks so much for coming in. How you doing? Just doing a nice little cast of two Latin American teams. And, well, I wanted to focus a little bit of what was going on there over at mid, but the kills are already happening over towards long, where they barely give me time to even think before I stumble over my words and before I stumble perhaps across another round for Polar Race Latin America. The early duels, it's starting to come back yet again. And it's treating them very, very well. See, realistically, sNtial, what can they do about this? Because it's started to work time after time. Someone like Kun, who's just consistently prodding over towards mid, even seeps into T-spawn every now and then. It's really been lethal, and it's been hard for them to deal with. This is probably a round that they have to give up, Polar Ace. I mean, having saved, have gotten all that eco stuff out of the way. Oh my god, everyone's in here. Thank you guys all so much for watching. This isn't my best cast, but I'm trying to give it my all, despite being a little bit tired. sNtial, I mean, it doesn't even feel like they have the lead much anymore. Kind of crazy to me that 6-3. This is looking really good for Polar Ace so far. Even the rounds that they have lost, they've kept it way more competitive than it ever was on Mirage, really. But I think the rounds finally might start just kind of falling into their favor one after another here. This is probably going to be number 5 right on the board for them. And, I mean, at that rate, we're going to be within striking distance, and we're basically going to be at an even game for both sides here. Definitely a lot to consider. It's looking promising, at least, for Polar Race Latin America, where, again, even during the losses that they've had, they have kept it really competitive, really close against sNtial. Overwhelmed at the B-bomb site by Glocks really destroys any plans that I had of praising Polar Race for too long, though, as, of course, of all things, it's a P250 Glock rush that works over towards the B-bomb site. Bomb planted as well in really strong post-plant positions. It is basically the perfect opportunity on an eco round like this. Yeah, cool, trades come through, but the nades are suffocating in their own right as Kun is tagged down to basically half, pushing straight on through. It actually works out. How are they getting all these kills? That is insane. What? I have no clue how that just happened. That retake was lightning fast. They just push straight on through, and it works out for Polar Ace. They overwhelm, and God, if you change these team names, I would be none the wiser. Honestly, it is Polar Ace's time to really kind of do exactly what sNtial were doing to them on Mirage. These really overwhelming early round takes and calls, and even late rounds as well, apparently. Like, there is just no stopping. Okay, maybe there is stopping Polar Ace North. They're still at a disadvantage. That's what's important to keep in mind. But, I mean, this game is even closer than the scoreline would suggest, which is kind of crazy to think. I think sNtial are feeling themselves a little bit more. It's definitely looking a little bit smoother. Yeah, Polar Ace forced to save just like that. I think sNtial kind of had to say, anything you can do, we can do better. They show a bit of aggression of their own volition. And this time, with rifles in hand, they can make it relatively proper. And it works out magnificently. He nearly went flawless as well. But they at least have Mario go down. Now 7-5, sNtial. Again, drag another one back onto the scoreboard. It's already better, though. I mean, I feel Polar Ace just based off of round differential alone, but this has been way more competitive than map number 1 ever was, and it's a really good look. Important round for economy coming up right here, right now. This can basically decide what the end of the half is going to be looking like. And it is absolutely dire that Polar Ace, even though they don't exactly have the best chance of winning it, can make it competitive. Kun will make it so. A great shot onto Artemio again. Kun is seriously, well, okay, look, I'm just going to go for the pun here. I've been thinking it for a while, but he's really cunning. With some of these pushes, it's honestly absurd what he's able to get away with. It's huge, and it's honestly game-changing. Oh, poor MKN. Gets stuck right on the grenade. Ugh, that hurts. I just absolutely love how Kun has been playing. He's head and shoulders above everybody else on his team so far when it comes to kills, but I don't even think it's the kills. I think it's just, honestly, the map control that he's had has been, again, very dominant. He falls right there. Still buys a little bit of time for the rotates to come through from Polar Ace. Oh, man. But a kill goes through the smoke of all things. Alarcon, I don't know how he steals that one away. And a wide swing as well. These are some super confident peaks of aggression coming out from sNtial. And even a plant over towards long as well. Makes this basically a shoo-in at this for Polar Ace North. Oh, God, Mario. Oh, thank God. The shot gives away that Alarcon is going to be pushing up long, but he still loses the duel anyway. Now 2-2 left to his own volition against two members. Takes down the first. Tries to desperately run away over towards Cat. And Alarcon has no clue of it. Oh, man. Alarcon. Oh, he has no idea. This is great. He thinks he dropped into CT. He's forced just to tap the bomb. He's making so much noise while doing it. 2-2 can just hide his head. It's done. The round is won. That is unbelievable. 2-2 makes it work. Oh, well, at least he goes up to the bomb. Again, a consolation prize for Alarcon. That was gorgeous. I honestly loved every single part of that from the post-plant onwards from sNtial. Sure, Mario, he loses the duel versus the AWP, but the heads-up play from 2-2, excuse me. Oh, well, that is a miss smoke. Well, okay. But the heads-up play by 2-2 to rush knives out over towards Catwalk to leave Polar Ace thinking, oh, no way he could have gotten over towards Cat. I mean, it's so risky, but it works out to just perfection. Bought so much time. But didn't buy so many kills, apparently. 4 versus 5 to start things off, it feels like. As 2-2 is tagged as he's making his way out towards the A-long doors. Polar Ace with a very weak buy. I said that last round was the most important when it comes to deciding who's going to take the half, but Polar Ace are already making a convincing show for themselves in number 14, despite the lackluster buy. The Moss is also striking back with a couple of, or just a kill so far. Oh man, I don't know how this is falling apart so badly. It is just not working out. They're not winning any fights. Even Kokos with a USP is able to strike in with 1. And actually the second comes from Juan. There's no rules to this game of Counter-Strike apparently. It's basically split down the middle at the moment. 6-8. The buy isn't going to be looking very pretty for the T-side to boot. And this time, the smoke over towards CT isn't missed as well, so that's a very nice start. Kun. Ooh, this time he's on the receiving end of a nice shot from a scout. Again, a little bit of revenge. It's best served cold, like the body of the now fallen Kun. It's a good start for sNtial if they want to get themselves back into this and make it as convincing again as Mirage was. 6-9.5 is very good, don't get me wrong. But considering how close it was at points, you have to feel like sNtial maybe a little bit salty about not running away with this one a little bit more. This numbers game, again, coming through. We've seen it so many times previously, but it's really coming into full effect right here. The trades, the refrags are lovely. What? Okay, sorry, my bad. I thought those were a T and a CT that looked away from each other, but no, the CTs. They're all grouped up. Now things are rational. 3-on-2. B-bomb site, notoriously hard to retake. And, well, they don't even have a chance at that one. You can't raise your voice at very lackluster retake, or very lackluster post-plant position like that. It's a solid play all the way through. sNtial scrape by 9-6. I really have to say, though, Polar Rays are looking way, way more comfortable on Dust 2 than they ever were for map number 1. And it's not even their map pick as well. I mean, yeah, they definitely seem a lot more confident on it, at least for the time being. Sure, they still come out on the short end of the stick, but they look better while doing it. And I think that's like the most important thing that they need to keep in mind. Like, this is the best of 3. It's going to be a little bit more about stamina than actually just popping off immediately for map number 1. Think about all the times where you've seen, map 2, map 3 comebacks. It's definitely possible. It's a thing that happens, especially at this level of play. Like, it's not unheard of. 9-6. Polar Ace starting to look a little bit better, and sNtial perhaps knocked down a peg by some of the aggression that players like Kun were bringing to the table. I feel a little bit more confident now that Polar Ace can make this a bit more competitive. sNtial, though, it's hard to really count them out, though. I mean, I gotta say, pretty much everything that you could hope for is going in their favor. When it comes to rounds, when it comes to economy as well. Things become slightly more tough after this pistol. They're now onto the CT side where they kind of get the short end of the stick again, the brunt end of the gun for economy. Perhaps this is when the real foe can arrive. This is when we can see the real power of sNtial. What is this? They have given up A completely? What are they doing? Oh my god, Mario and MKN are going to be in for a real nasty surprise when they realize they have had an infestation. Polar Ace, they've already taken over the site. They got the bomb down. It's a 5 versus 5. This post plane is honestly going to be very horrid. I really don't see this working out very swimmingly for sNtial. Sure, they have USPs. Yes, they also have a kit, but only one smoke. And this site is prime pickings if you have like a flashbang or something. They're winning some of these fights, at least early on, which is convincing enough. But the Glocks are able to reign supreme at the end of the day, or not for long. Pocker gets a double at the end of it. But it's really, I mean, a team effort. Artemio is the only one not able to find a kill, and here I am left reeling at what sNtial have just been able to pull off. I mean, how? How do they just win those fights right there? It feels like 90% of situations, it should be kind of a sort of scenario where Polar Ace are just able to win it by, hiding behind the default box or, just barely peeking up towards Catwalk or something, because a big brunt of that push was coming towards Catwalk. There's a few players from CT, and I think one over towards Long or something like that, but, I mean, for the most part, it was a very one-sided retake. And it just works out. I just don't understand. The shots connect, and, well, I mean, things continue to look good. That was a really, I wouldn't say important, but it could have been kind of the momentum shifter for Polar Ace North to put themselves back in the game. They're still not out of it. They're buying fully into this, considering how competitive they made the first round of this second half. But it comes with a couple of questions attached. 2 AKs, 2 Deegs, both of which have no armor, by the way, and a Galil. Definitely having a lot of hope that these AKs can pop off. The Riflers are definitely impressive with their craft on this scene, don't get me wrong. But I think against what sNtial have to offer, it might be a bit tough for them to deal with. MKN watches over towards Catwalk. His first face will be Kun's, and Kun! How? How does he win that with a D? That is unbelievable. He had no armor. He was being shot at, too. That should have easily been a kill for MKN, but God, it's just not. This is insane. Now shifting their way over towards B. It will be sNtial with only 2 players who they're named to hold down the site alone, and the first one falls. The second one goes down swinging at least. That's unbelievable. Polar Ace steal that one away. I cannot believe it. There's no way these shots are connecting for Polar Ace. 10-7. And I said Polar Ace again have a shot, but it wasn't even the Riflers who were standing up. It was the Deegs. The Deegs were really popping off in that situation. Boost up over towards Catwalk. And a push out over towards long for the side of Polar Ace. Now with a very nice bit of artillery to work with. sNtial will have not much of a chance to make this work here. But we saw what Polar Ace could do on pistols. Maybe sNtials could try to give them a little bit of a crash course. Nice damage as they cross, but I mean, it's just that. They cross. It's not going to be very promising. This surely should be the end of the line. Great shot. Great shots. There we are. A little bit more clean now. Polar Ace. It's scrappy till the very end. But the T's win it convincingly too. That is going to help their economy immensely. That was a full investment from sNtial. That just did not convert into anything. Not even a single kill. Now on default pistols. CT's... I mean, this is probably going to be even more of a stomp, in theory at least, than the last round was. So this is probably going to be a quickie. Don't get any big ideas, because this isn't going to happen, sNtial. $0 invested into this entire CT defense at the moment. Doesn't inspire confidence against the Kriegs and AKs. Or actually just AKs, no Kriegs just yet. The full rifles, let's just go with that. Molotov out. Surprised Polar Ace are playing this so carefully. Reminds me a lot of, again, how sNtial were playing it. Even when they were completely stomping on Mirage, they still gave so much respect. Played it incredibly slow. Maybe Polar Ace have been humbled a little bit after map number 1, and they're playing it very carefully. It's a suit that looks good on them, and they're going to look for the right fit. Pushing up now over towards Cat. Oh, is Snake going to be getting a run boost? Oh, no, he's dropping into CT. Is MKN watching for this? Okay, well, that boost didn't work. Nor did he actually commit to the drop into CT, excuse me, but it's no matter. It's only USPs that they have to go up against anyway. They'll probably start to realize it in the next couple of seconds that USPs are no match for anything, really. It's an anticlimactic finish. Overall, very quiet round, a slow round, but very much a important one for Polar Ace. This, I mean, at the very least, it's going to help with momentum. And it's going to help with their economy as well, very much. I mean, take a look at this. Polar Ace, a lot of their players have a very healthy amount of cash in their reserves, and it's only going to get much better after the bomb detonates and the round is officially theirs. It's all but confirmed at this point, really. I mean, all we're waiting for is a bomb to explode, as aforementioned. Pocker trying to peek up a little for some early kills, or maybe a gun, but no. Without really needing to do much of anything, Pocker stays alive, and it's going to be 10-9, so striking distance. Polar Ace. Again, as I said, Dust 2 is looking way, way, way more comfortable than map number 1 ever was, and the scoreline is there to back it up too. 10-9 is really impressive. And sNtial, are they seriously going for this? A triple save? I mean, the first round was a force, but they still had some money left over where I thought the save would have been enough for them. They want to get it over with quickly, apparently, because they're all stacking over towards long, and they just get killed in the matter of mere milliseconds. I mean, again, just like that, it's going to be an even game. Polar Ace, sure, they've been given a couple of freebies, but you have to kind of wonder what this triple save means from sNtial on the same note. Are they going to be bringing out double ops? That's possibly my guess for sNtial. Because, again, they could have forced up rifles or FAMASas or something of the sort, but they really want to get a confident, strong buy. I mean, some of their players have $7,000 to speak of. So possibly double AWPs. Yep, there indeed it is. The double snipers have come out. sNtial are bringing out the long shooty guns. And they're looking to try to take back this lead, which has just about all been taken away from them. It's 10-10 as we're entering number 21. And Polar Ace, their heads are in the game. They've doubled up effectively what they did on Mirage. And again, I said at some points that it looked like Polar Ace, despite losing the rounds, were looking really confident, but only really lost it because they're on, pistols. They're impressing me. sNtial definitely have cooled down a bit from Mirage, but they're still in this. And it would be really important for them, at least morally, or, yeah, morally, I guess that's the right word, if they can win this one. Again, the double oppers is actually a very important point. Polar Ace, I mean, look, that back plat position is really tough to play against. Sometimes, at least. If it's not flashed out or dealt with appropriately, it could lead to demise. Oh, Pocker, you don't unscope at a moment like that, but the need is there to finish up the job. It's gorgeous. A double stack from Tutu and Pocker. And God, it's just going to be them all the way down. Tutu has stolen away, 3 kills. Pocker, oh God, he can't make it 4. It's swinging right back in the favor of the T's. Only for so long, though. Snake is caught out in the open, and he gets trapped between a rock and a hard place. But now the rock and the hard place are about to collapse on Koklos, who gets the bomb down over towards B. Now has to set up for the post plant here, but the CTs are already ready for the fight. Great shot from Koklos. Gives Polar Ace a real decent shot at doing this, and he closes it out. A quad kill. Polar Ace steal that one away. Unbelievable. Oh, that was just honestly gorgeous. I loved how Polar Ace played that. There was so few things that could have worked out for them, but they somehow claw it out. At the end of the day, I mean, it is Koklos, who was probably the best performing player on Polar Ace when it comes to map number 1, despite their very harsh defeat. He was like a shining beacon of hope. Nade stack over towards long, barely gives me any time to talk, and it's already down 2-2 versus 2. What is going on this game? What is going on these past 2 rounds? Koklos, oh God, he's so damn wise. He's wide peeking. This is so risky, Pocker. What are you doing? Oh my God, these rounds are going to give me a heart attack. These rounds are way too close for comfort. Polar Ace take the lead. I mean, just barely. It's been a very competitive D2 so far. sNtial are finally starting to fade away a bit more. Now have definitely given up the lead. Still riding the high of that clutch from Koklos. That was such an insane round. It should have been 2-2 and Pocker holding it down, but Pocker missing that shot. I mean, that changed the forecast for this entire D2 game. It went from being 11 to 10 to 10 to 12, just like that. Early on into this round, Polar Ace have already seized cat control. Spraying down over towards mid. Alarcon finds a kill for his trouble. Oh, and Pocker. Poor Pocker. These past couple of rounds have been really mean to him, haven't they? Missing that shot over towards B, a shot that he desperately needed to hit. Now he was peeking over towards mid. Didn't have anybody to trade him out, and he dies all by his lonesome. All that his teammates can hope to do at the moment is just trade out and give his team a chance, or give their team a chance, but it's looking less and less likely as time goes by. Tutu will have to pull off another miraculous B hold, but there is just so much going on. There's so much happening around him. It's an impossible task, really. However, at least his teammates will be able to at least try to make this happen. 2-on-2. They're actually going for it. This is a different sNtial than we saw on map number 1, that's for sure. And this is giving it away right here. They're not choosing to save their weapons. They're going in for the fight here. Molotov's out, expended. But the B site is notoriously hard to retake, and it's for reasons like this. There's just so many strong angles for the T's to play from here. Mario on 1 HP has to pull it off, but there's not a chance in hell. It's Kun who comes alive with a quad kill. I didn't even realize he was doing that good, but hell. He has not slowed down one bit. He's on 29 at the moment. He has been undeniably the star of the show. But Koklos is winning my heart, at least. And, I mean, it goes to show that anything can happen at this level of play of Counter-Strike. On the verge of stealing each other's map picks. One map more competitive than the other, most certainly, but still convincing either way. 4-on-4 starts things off basically. Again, barely any time passes by the time two players are already dead in the grave. sNtial, they've been giving up some of their numbers early on, but at least they've stemmed the wound just a tiny bit by getting a kill back into their favor. Cat control, soon to be seized from Polar Ace. Did Juan spot that player on site? I'm not really sure, but it could really change things if he did. Great nade comes through, by the way, from Artemio. Speaking of which, the hero on map number 1 has been very quiet for this one so far, but he needs to show up in a big way. Unfortunately, doesn't have a chance in hell to do it. Oh, bomb planted, and basically the most outermost position you could hope for. Things just get better and better for Polar Ace, don't they? Flash through. Actually shot through from Pocker. It's done. Polar Ace, I mean, this is a changed team. It's night and day how they're looking from map 1 to map 2. I said that they needed to warm up, but my god, they're boiling. Definitely getting revenge for that unfortunate showing that was Mirage. They're winning D2, and right now, it's not even looking that competitive. It was competitive for a time. You know, we saw a couple of rounds even previously, very early on as well, where it was competitive. But this time, it seems to be a lot more convincing. Mario, great shots through the smoke, though. That's huge. And suddenly, what the hell? It went from a 3-on-5 to a 3-on-2 in the blink of an eye. Mario, sure, I know he got that double over towards long, but those were basically refrags. Pocker also picks one up, though. That is probably the real puzzling question. How Polar Ace managed to give that one up. It changes the deal dramatically. I mean, Polar Ace now on the back foot. They can contact play their way in towards B, no problem. They have even some grenades to make the job easier, but Pocker will have advanced warning on some of this information. Tries to tap down. Great shot from Alarcon. And man, oh man, Polar Ace. Revenge must be sweet because you are just giving it to sNtial at the moment. It's so hard to think that these are the same two teams that we saw previously. Such a welcome change, though. sNtial are going to be going for the retake, as expected. I don't really have confidence in this one, to be totally honest. 2-2 manages to avoid a couple of shots with the AWP. Mario actually wins the first duel and the second. Are you kidding me? That is absurd. A pleasant surprise around carried on the back of Mario as he gets 27 kills, the second highest in the server, only behind who else but Kun. Wow, honestly, I was counting sNtial out of that one from the start, but Mario, I gotta say, you have given a one-up to sNtial so far. He's been a superstar, I guess I can even say. 3 players towards CT, committed over towards the long side of the map as well. Something that Polar Ace have been on and off trying to take on early. This time, though, they have decided to almost entirely desert it. There'll still be one, tossing out a couple of nades to try to keep enemy attention towards that area, which is working rather well. I mean, look, MKN has actually come up to join the fight. But Polar Ace North, they're very, very close now to grinding this one out. sNtial don't have that early kill. Changes things up a little bit. Smoke out towards CT, and I mean, nice little crossfire that they're trying to do, but it is very risky to go for something like that. But risk pays off in dividends. It gets one kill, or he gets one kill, excuse me, and the rest of his teammates are collapsing upon the remaining CTs, or the remaining Ts apparently, because, I mean, God, that, again, was over in the blink of an eye. sNtial in recent rounds have had lightning in a bottle, and they have let it out. It's so hard to really dictate either one of these teams' current forms. It seems like so hot and cold at times, and right now, Artemio and co are looking real hot. Gets the first shot. again, Artemio, after that gorgeous map 1 he had where he went 25-9, he's been significantly quieter. He's still doing his job well, but not nearly that superstar that we saw previously. It's Alarcon, who's actually going to be the superstar of this round, up to 29 kills. I haven't even really been shouting his name much out anyway, but I got to be shouting it from the rooftops. He surprises me with a double out of seemingly nowhere. Smoke goes down over towards long. Co close. Pushes past it. Picks up another smoke. He gets refunded. Artemio. Oh, man. Just that little bit of information given up from Kun leads to possibly the end of this round. Yeah, there's not really much that could work out from this point forward for Polar Ace. I guess they have double smokes. Probably smoking CT cross. Or maybe trying to pull a fake. I don't know. There's a couple of things that could definitely work out. I think smoking cross is definitely going to be one of their better decisions. They still have one remaining. So I could say that one for the post plant if they even make it that far. But Artemio seems to have other plans about how far they make it. Alarcon now finds himself all alone against 3 members, all of which know exactly where he is and want his blood. Alarcon, again, 19 HP. A bit tough to really ask him to win this, but he's up for the challenge. But unfortunately, he's not down to the business. 13-14, again within striking distance. And, I mean, God, they're really making this one work now. sNtial were gone for a big number of rounds, but they have showed right back up. They are making these look very convincing now. 3 players alive at the end of that one. Perhaps could mean that we see the full 30. Maybe even more. Oh, hey, what's up, new bitch? It's been a minute. How you doing? (13-14), and again, it's looking very, well, I was going to say looking very good for sNtial. It's not crazy. I mean, they have a Krieg, they have AK. It's good. It's very good, but I'm a little bit worried about the side of Polar Ace. I mean, I don't feel like they're going to be able to make this even footing. Hell, what am I saying? I saw what Polar Ace can do on this previously. I shouldn't be worried. This is kind of a weird buy, though, that they have into it. Co-close with an AK-47. I have conflicting thoughts about this one, but Polar Ace North, again, they've surprised me so far on map number 2. I don't know if they can keep up the momentum, though. This seems like a tough ask. Oh, cat control is a very welcome sight. Artemio has a player in his sights, doesn't hit the shot. That sucks. I mean, honestly, that early kill, has been one of the few consistent things for Artemio so far this game. But the fact that he doesn't have it, it just kind of sucks, you know? It's not so much a given anymore. Newbie says, how'd that cast go for the other day? It actually went really well. It was a very swift 2-0, but it was fun and something I want to be involved in later on. Thank you again so much for the shout out for that. I really do appreciate it. Polar Ace now all grouped up over towards mid. Don't have that map control over towards B-ton, so they have to be careful. I mean, they don't know if anyone could be pushing around them, and that's like a very scary prospect. Oh, God, these shots are very scary prospects as well. Pocker, why do you peek into that? That is so dangerous. Oh, Tutu goes for something even more dangerous. He's going to be able to fight 2 off of it. That is, I don't understand how this even works. Again, I sound like a broken record when I say some of this stuff so consistently in my casts, but really, these are things that would not work in my MM games, that these players, these semi-pro players, are making work in the middle of a league match. Like, I have so much respect. That is not an easy call to do, but Tutu is stepping up to the plate. He's been probably the highest impact killer, I feel like, on sNtial. Not topping the scoreboard at the moment. It's actually Mario, who's had a couple of huge rounds on his own. But Tutu has really been such a solid anchor and has been so close to victory a number of times. Let's talk about the current round, the current situation that's at hand, though. This is something else. 14-14. We are going to be seeing the full 30 no matter what. And really, this decides all. Full loss bonus in effect from Polar Ace means that if they lose this, oh, God, which is looking awfully good. or which is looking awfully likely now, excuse me. Poker, that aggression has been very hit or miss this entire game, really. But this time it seems to have worked out. He's taken down the bomb carrier, Juan. But we're going to be seeing the full 30, and if Polar Ace lose this one, their money is not going to look very, very nice for them heading into the last. This is a, I wouldn't say must win, because it's never over till it's over, but goddamn, it is just about there. Artemio and MKN both find kills on top of it. It's all but done and dusted. It's Koklos against the world, and the world just might collapse on him. He's ready for the first kill and hits the shot to boot. But sNtial still snatch it away with 4 players left standing. They're able to rebuy fully for the last one of regulation. It's do or die for Polar Ace. Do they continue on in the ESEA Latin America Season 33 playoffs, or do they go out just such a depressing fashion, I gotta say. Oh, immediate kill from Alarcon. Just as I was switching the camera over, he takes down MKN. First kill. That's a start, right? It's a start. It's something they definitely need. It's been good for them, at least. But still, there is a light at the end of the tunnel for sNtial. Mario's sitting right outside long doors, and he has been a nuisance for Polar Ace Latin America at the moment. It's very risky, though. He's surely going to get traded out. I don't see this really being as volatile as he hopes. Flash through. It's absolutely brilliant. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. They've let... Oh, Jesus Christ, Mario. Oh, God. The shots aren't hitting as well. We're going to OT. Oh, there's... geez, that hurts. That really hurts to watch. Mario, the fact that he wasn't getting shot at, he was like, oh my God, do I have a chance? But then, like, the T just looks back and was just like, oh God, wait a second. Something's going on here. Got killed. Then Artemio from Card doesn't hit his shot. I mean, those were most likely kills that are traded anyway, but it really sucks to lose. Or at least go to OT like that. And, I mean, God, here we are. 9-6 for either side. We're going to be going to overtime after a super one-sided map number 1. This one couldn't be any closer. The number to search for now for both teams will be 19. A small little break before we head into the second half, but we're already done with it. These players are raring to go. Chomping at the bit. And they're ready to chomp right down onto the opposition. Both teams with 16K to start out with will be able to put up everything that they could want. Interesting to note, sNtial, they're not going for the double AWP. It seems that they only tried it once and we're just kind of done from it. Or done with it, rather. They don't really want to bother with it, apparently. Artemio will still peek mid nonetheless, though. 3 players stacked up over towards A, Long. And, I mean, Long has been a very promising place for Polar Ace. It's how they got their entry for the last round of regulation, so it has been pretty nice to them. That being said, they're taking it towards mid this time around, and Artemio won't be missing his shot this time. Snake already put out of the picture on round number 31, and Artemio doesn't go down. That is unbelievable. I don't know how Kun didn't manage to pull it off. Ubich asks, was that your first dual cast the other day? No, I've done a couple of them on different channels sometimes. I've done casts with Vu. I've done them with one of my friends named Comic. I've done it with one of my really close friends, Pinecone. I've done it with a variety of different people. It was fun, though. I love dual casts. I think it definitely takes a little bit of the pressure off of me. Having to do both at least an attempt at color commentary as well as play-by-play. But it's good practice, at least. Yeah, I don't dual cast often, which is probably why you haven't heard me do it. Why you probably thought it was my first. It just doesn't really happen too often. It's just, I guess, a bit hard to set up. And, oh, Christ. Talk about setup and execution. Unbelievable. Alarcon, I gotta say, he's been hitting some really gorgeous shots this entire game. What is that from Kun? That is unbelievable. He jumps out on top of the box and gets a kill. It's a bit too ambitious, and the CT start collapsing all around him and his teammates. Now Alarcon, again, the superstar of who I've been mentioning. Oh, God, no! Oh, he's caught while reloading. Oh, jeez. These have been some really messy rounds. It's hard to follow in a lot of cases. sNtial win it, but Alarcon, I guess to go back on my main point, he just nearly shut that one out. He's on 34 kills. He's been doing fantastic. Nubich says, oh, no offense. Yeah, dude. No, trust me, no offense taken. I just don't do dual casts all too often just because a lot of the time it's no one wants to. That's a lot of the case, to be completely honest. And also just orgs don't seem to be up to pay both me and the other casters, so I usually just split my money if they actually do want to. Which is not much to go. When you split it 2 ways, there's not much money, and it goes into either one of our pockets, so I guess it's just beneficial for the most part to me solo cast. Plus I get really decent practice in. Boost up over towards CT, perhaps in the works. Yes, indeed. Pocker. This is a very strong position, but I don't think Polar Ace are seeming to be interested in mid B. They are more confident in Cat more so than anything at the moment. The main thing I'm surprised about is that they haven't tried putting a little bit more pressure over towards long. It has been, again, like a very friendly face for them. Pretty much every single time that they've wanted to push out over towards long, yeah, they've sustained damage every now and then, but they've gotten away with it. Oh man, I might have spoke too soon. Pocker, patience might pay off in this case here. He's still waiting over towards the box. Close. Oh, he's watching the angle, and the Krieg reigns supreme. Ah, these shots are beautiful from Polar Ace, I gotta say. Now Tutu will have to pull off another massive B hold, but I mean, his position's given away, and he's dead to rights. This is looking like a real wipeout now. Not that economy matters whatsoever, so sNtial, there's almost no reason not to go for this. Except the fact that they probably don't have a shot in hell. They don't even get to pad their stats on the way to the grave, apparently. As it's all tied up 16-16. Polar Ace, a very convincing one put onto the board. I gotta say, some of these numbers, this is unbelievable. Wanveg, he's been having a very quiet game, but actually same story with Snake, but everybody else has been absolutely popping. Khan, Alarcon, and Close. Together, they form this unstoppable trio, apparently. There's only so many kills to go around, I suppose, right? Bomb retrieved. Playing close right now towards the mid, or long doors, excuse me. Mario lies in wait. Oh, close. Again, he opens it up. That's insane. It's also on to Pocker again. I feel real bad for Pocker. I really have to say. He has not been getting a lot of lucky draws on map number 2 here, and it's starting to hurt. 2-2 though. Ever the anchor at B. This time pushes, does his best Pocker impression. And actually works out rather well. He gets a kill. But the site will immediately lead to an execution coming out from Polar Ace North on towards the A-bomb site, and Mario. Oh, Lord. His teammate MKN falls, and it's going to be all on Mario. Doesn't even spot the player jumping over towards barrels. Now it'll be the rest of the CTs left to hold the line, but they're dead to rights almost certainly here. Artemio at least gets one. The second is out of his hands, really. 17-16. Again, the number that we are going to be looking for is 19. If it gets tied up 18-18, then we're going to double OT. So either way, I think we have a decent amount of Counter-Strike in for us. I mean, really, map number 2 has been way more promising. It's delivering on all fronts. Great plays from both sides, and I mean, it's working out. sNtial, they really do not look like the same team as map number 1 showed. Maybe a lot less disciplined. I don't exactly know what, but they're just struggling in a lot of these cases. Polar Ace, so I mean, huge props to them. They really got the CTs rattled. Or sNtial rattled, rather. After some of those early pushes and such. I'm a fan. Consider me a fan. Again, a small little break. Shouldn't be too long before we're back into it. This series has been going on a while. We're already at 2 hours and 19 minutes, and we aren't even on to the potential map number 3. Whew. What's up, Legzor? Thank you all so much for watching, by the way. I appreciate it. Guys, enjoy. Please feel free to drop a follow on either my Twitch or my Twitter. And if you're feeling really generous, maybe a Twitch Prime subscription as well. But, you know, that's only if you want a lovely emote and also want to support me. Wink. Either way, I understand it completely. I just want you guys to have a nice night. Enjoy some of this lovely Counter-Strike whenever it gets back into action. And back into it we go. Alright, well, putting all of our notes together, what can we say? We're heading back onto the half that did not treat Polar Ace so amazingly, but they got it very close on a large number of situations. I think Polar Ace are going to close it out. Probably 1917 is my guess. But sNtial, maybe they're trained. They put up a pretty considerable T-half to their own right as well, despite the close calls. So who knows what we're going to be in for, really. Pendulum could swing either way, but it is ever sharp and ready to cut. Snake is going to be going into the position where Poker was trying to play last time. Let's hope that he fares better than he. Relatively slow so far. This is a bit more of the sNtial that I was expecting, and definitely a lot more of what we're seeing on Inferno. Nice molly for close doors. Flushes out anyone who might have been waiting there, but no give. Oh, I like this though. The CT smoke and the flash coming through might keep Snake here for a little bit while longer. In fact, they're getting a lot of utility out towards the CT side, but sNtial haven't really pushed based off of that. I don't like that. I feel like that would have been a perfect opportunity for them to pop out up towards Catwalk and probably not catch Kun off guard, but at least got some of those rotations a little bit more delayed. Now there's a chance for Polar Ace to kind of just shut it out by time alone. 30 seconds remain as the T's are making their way onto the site. Close. I need to keep an eye on him, though. This is going to be probably one of the more important frags of this entire round here. And, God, sNtial, they're getting all of them. They're getting every single one. It's no matter how you try to pull off and execute when you have the shots that make it work. It's a bit awkward for Poker. Again, he's really been on the back foot of a lot of these fights. I feel for him. But a 2 versus 3 nonetheless. In a very tough situation nonetheless as well. Alarcon, now with both players spotted, just hope to hit their shots, but sNtial, they're better at that game, aren't they? Oh, God, and we're back into an even game, aren't we? This next round, whoever gets it, it's got to be deciding who secures OT point here. Really, I mean, with how this game has been going, I don't feel like I can confidently choose. Again, the pendulum swings back and forth. Smoke towards mid early on. sNtial, this time they aren't going for their default where they're just all waiting towards Catwalk. They've definitely aired it over towards the side of B. Artemio, this could actually be huge. I don't think. Alarcon peeks into this, does he? Oh my God, it would be so risky if he did. There's no way. It'd be a golden opportunity if he did, but yeah, it's just too risky to bother. Nice little nade through, at least. Didn't find much damage, but at least wards off the T's for a bit of time. Oh, Kun. I don't know how he finds that kill onto MKN. That is round changing, honestly. sNtial, what's their best bet at this point? I mean, the positions, at least from how Polar Ace are playing at the moment. Probably would be best if they just went for that A pop once more. But there's a whole host of issues behind that one as well. Ranging from the quick rotations to the fact that they're already getting in position for it at least slightly. Koklos is not boosted up in that position, and you're a man down. It's not looking very promising, but they seem to want to go through with it anyway. Forecast is through 2-2. Oh, it's going to be raining 2-2 from the sky, but he falls just like that here. This time, the gauntlet heavily favors Polar Ace North. They absolutely wipe the floor with sNtial. Oh my god, that wasn't even close. I mean, hell. That was just insanely one-sided. That seems to happen a lot when Polar Ace seem to let loose on their true form. Seems like they have ideas to boost up players quick towards Catwalk. Kun. Oh, are they going to be peeking to lower tunnels? I would love this. Kun did it a lot. A lot of that sneaky aggression on the CT side. This time it's punished a bit. Heads up play by, I want to say it was Pocker who threw that. Might have been MKN. Either way, that was huge and might decide a lot. 2 kills go the way of Alarcon as he pushes into B tunnels alongside his teammate. Kun gets 1, and I think we might see our victors of map number 2 here. It's all up to 2-2. And I think we're going to be seeing Polar Ace bring this to map number 3. Who would have thought? After such a disastrous map number 1, they strike back, and they do incredible on D2, stealing each other's map pick. We're going to be heading on to Train. And Train, oh my god, I don't even know what to expect for that. I'm just out of ideas. This is crazy how they made it this far. So much respect. I mean, Polar Ace, they make it one hell of a game. And if they go out, they're going to be going out swinging, aren't they? It's not going to be too long before we head into map number 3. Again, it's going to be DE_train, and it shouldn't be too long before we see it. I'm going to bring it to a little bit of music before we head into the third map yet again, and I'll see you right about then. Later. all comes down to the last map of this best of 3. Map number 1, an absolute stomp in favor of sNtial. And map number 2, or sNtial, excuse me. And map number 2, well, it was anything but a stomp. It was probably the closest game you'll see for a while. Ended up favoring 1917 with Polar Ace just barely edging it out. And now they look to finish off this beast that they have started climbing up Shadow Colossus style. Comes down all onto Train. Good evening, everybody. I will try to take you through this. My name is Ito, and we are going to try to finish up this best of 3 between Polar Ace, Latin America, and sNtial. Now, we've seen incredible performances from a number of different players on here. Yo, what's up, Flippy? How you doing? We've seen a number of impressive performances from multiple players on the server here. I think the people to keep an eye on right now is going to be Kun on the side of Polar Ace. Although they are pushing up aggressively over at B. sNtial, I mean, it's a little bit risky, but they get away with it. Pocker, how can I ever doubt him? He always goes for crazy aggression of some sort. And it actually was a really harrowing factor for them in a number of cases on Dust 2. Worked out a number of times as well, sure, but I mean, it's kind of a hit or miss sort of deal. But Pocker, he's not Pocker without some of the aggression. And pretty much anything but aggression coming out right now from Polar Ace. They're playing it super, super slow. Gathering up over at B to make a push out. Koklos will just be spotting every now and then. Toss out smoke over towards Sidewalk and a couple of flashes over. It's going to be a standard execute and default out onto the site. Alarcon is probably another player to keep your eye on as well. He had an incredible map number 2. This is something that unfortunately Kun kind of stole the headline from because he had an amazing game in his own right. But what happens when these amazing performances don't happen for Polar Ace Latin America? Right now, they seem to be faltering as they've taken down Kun, who, again, was that hero. They're sticking on the bomb as well. Oh my god, Mario, he gets tapped through it. Kills are going the way of Polar Ace, back, forth, left, right, and center. But it seems to actually be favoring Polar Ace. This is unbelievable. Snake is trying to get on the bomb. Oh god, MKN, no! Oh, Jesus, he gets on the bomb. He gets it. Why was the racial slur deleted? Because it's a racial slur. Don't feel like that's exactly a hard question. Anyway, Polar Ace. They're all just waiting around in spawn. A little bit of a calm before the storm. All quiet on the western front. I'm still riding the high of that map number 2. I still need to get myself fully into this game number 3. I mean, that was a marathon. And right now, I mean, both these teams are in the final stretch. Pocker on this next repeat. What is he doing? Throw the nade down. What is he doing? That is so damn risky, but thank God for Mario to bail him out. Saves the day. Although Alarcon tries to cause some more chaos as he actually struck over by Ivy, of all things. All around the map is where Polar Ace seemed to be for the time being, and right now, I mean, I'm not a fan of, I don't know, prodding with deagles like this just feels so risky. I think a double stack or a double drop over towards ladder room could be really strong. 2-2, I think we'll be ready for it, though. He is one hell of a player. Okay, maybe not with an MP9, he's not, but well, that gun never treats me right either. I totally understand how he feels. Mario, though, okay, we'll just go ahead and steal my breath away. He gets one and MKN with another. I don't understand why I was worried about sNtial whatsoever, because these kills are happening all pretty smoothly for the most part here. And I mean, really, the big part is that they're catching Polar Ace off guard at a number of these angles, and it's huge. It's gorgeous. That is exactly what you need to do. It's a clean retake, and it's going to be, well, not exactly the cleanest, but it's going to be another round for sNtial. Something to be happy for. That's definitely going to be right. sNtial, we're on the verge of losing that one, so I was a little bit scared just because of that. Now, 2-0. sNtial, trying to think. I mean, are they going to be well equipped for this? The thing is, like before, after map 1, I would say sNtial, okay, they're going to be able to deal with this, surely. I know the gun rounds are good from Polar Ace, blah, blah, blah. But no, now it's like, I don't even understand what's going on anymore. We've seen incredible performances from a number of different players where I feel like there's no such thing as a given round for either one of these teams. Kills happen so quickly across the board here. Suddenly, in the blink of an eye, 4 players are left stuck in a grave. Make it 5 now, and well, sNtial, they're going to be getting the short end of the stick in this equation. As it's a 1-on-4 for him. Just go ahead and keep that M4. See, thing is, it's a little bit more of what I was worried about. sNtial, their money has been in kind of a weird spot since they lost that, or they won that last round, but it was honestly not really a win with how much damage they took. Now they're forced to save this M4, and I'm sure that's something they would rather not do. But I mean, it's pretty much the only thing that they could have done. Oh, Kun, though. I'm worried. Okay, thank God he gets that kill. Pocker has been one of the quieter faces in the server for both maps 1 and 2, but maybe Polar Ace North will be able to keep him silent for map number 3 as well. He plays it very safe, though, and just saves an M4 and gets a kill on his way out. So at least it's some damage done onto Polar Ace, and it's a gun that needs to be rebought, and it comes in the form of map 10 for Juan. Kun, though, still has a Krieg, even after dying, though, and I think he's really the one to worry about. I don't understand how that kill went through from Juan, but here we are. He gets it. There's a lot of things that I'm just not understanding at the moment. Oh, look at this, Pocker. This is huge. I'm sure they're going to be watching. God damn, that Krieg is so damn good. I mean, I just love watching it at this point. Again, I'm still riding the high of map number 2, where I just love seeing these teams just like swing at each other. It's like watching 2 heavyweights. It's impressive. Great shots across the line from both teams. But the bomb has now crossed the line and put this solidly in favor of Polar Ace for the time being here. Artemio peeks his face right into the crosshairs of Kun. And this is probably one of the scarier maps for the Krieg. I'd argue probably the scariest map for the Krieg, actually. There's so many incredible sight lines that the T's can use when it comes to pushing out sights, or definitely in post plants, as you saw right there. At sNtial, I mean, there's going to be left wondering what went on for that round here. Probably going to use a little bit of this time before heading into number 5 to talk about what has been working for Polar Ace. I mean, the thing is there, it doesn't even feel like they're doing anything too big brain, anything too 5-head. It was just a straight up contact play over towards upper. You know, they were able to spot out Pocker, who was going for a risky angle. It's not something I look down on him for going for. It's risky, sure. Yeah, it's really risky to go for that sort of thing. But it's like a gamble worth taking, and it would work out if it wasn't being watched by Polar Ace. But they have been really smart on it. These Kriegs are absolutely incredible so far as well. Kun taps down too. These pistols aren't proving to be much of a threat whatsoever to Polar Ace Latin America, as they're just about to take the lead on train right here, right now. And it's done. Barely any time goes through. And it's done. Well, I mean, just like that, I think it just kind of proves my point where Polar Ace, they really don't have to even go for a full execute straight up. Maybe we saw a little bit of an execute previously in that first gun round, but even then, it was just, they had like 1-2 free kills by the time that they made their way onto the site and actually got those smokes down, where really they haven't had to do anything crazy yet. This upper control has been pretty monumental for them, though, and I think it's a very welcome addition to a T-side playbook. Exchanging nades back and forth will be Pocker and Kun. Probably Kun getting the brunt of it, though. I also kind of feel for 2-2 down here. Holding down ladder is not the easiest job. And a thankless job in many cases as well. Especially since Polar Ace are again sticking to their default, setting up a couple of flashes, a few smokes as well. Bomb is not quite there for the push, though. It's bringing just one player. Actually, no, they're doing double inner at the moment. This is a bit interesting. Both playing by Bomb Train. This definitely seems like a counterplay of some sort by sNtial. They're forced to play it a little bit smarter. Again, map number 1 was so friendly to them. It was like everything that they wanted to do was working like a charm, but I mean, these aren't default setups that you see from the CT side. In fact, even bringing in a third player, it's a great read on the situation, but it definitely smells of counter strat, something like that. Smoke goes out. 2 players wait on the B bomb site here. Pocker will be the first face. I don't even think he tags up a player, but his teammate will burn alive. 2-2 goes absolutely massive with a triple over towards ladder. They're popping out over towards ladder, but that just allows 2-2 to pop off instead. He's looking for number 4, and he's going to get it. I honestly, 2-2 is honest. He has been the unsung hero, I think, of this entire series so far. I legitimately think he is such a good player, and I want to see more. These are some really tough positions that 2-2 is holding down. Like, ladder, I hate holding down ladder. It just feels very static for the most part, but this guy makes magic. It's unbelievable, and really, that's exactly what sNtial need to get round number 3, and something they probably weren't going to get if it wasn't for 2-2's massive triple kill right there, and then obviously finishing up with a quad. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways you can take back from that round. Pocker, oh look, he's going for aggression. Who would have thought? It looks like Kun may have thought. He's ready with the AK. Again, I feel for you, Kun. Or I feel for you, Pocker. He's trying to risk it for the biscuit, but he keeps on not being able to make it work, unfortunately. Polar is playing the slows or executing onto the A bomb site, though. Are getting a good amount of map control, further trouble. But trouble is brewing on the site itself here. Do they actually get bomb down? That is unbelievable. Bomb somehow goes down almost uncontested. In fact, completely uncontested now that I think about it. And they're going to get kills to boot as well. How has this completely worked out for Polar Ace? They are just really not having any challenges towards them whatsoever. Kun goes on an absolute tear, picks up 3, and 2-2. Well, I mean, look, they went massive last round. Let's see if they can repeat history. Good little Krieg shot. Finishes up the job onto Snake, taps the bomb. Probably dead to rights here from here on out, though. Spots the first player, but he dies just as quickly to the other player. A clean crossfire from Polar Ace nets them number 4. And it doesn't even look particularly harsh. I mean, Ace site was all but given up by sNtial. Definitely have some questions. I think that's something that Polar Ace should exploit for the future. They were able to get bombed down without even killing a player behind it. Like, they got that initial frag out. I think that was it. Otherwise, they didn't have to do much of anything. It's something that Polar Ace I definitely think can take advantage of, rather. Quick trade over towards B. Starts things off on a high note. Pocker, again, always going for the aggression. It works out. It brings rotations over towards the B bomb site, but there's still plenty of time to go for Polar Ace. I mean, it feels like this is a very risky stack by sNtial, but they're trying to gamble on something here. I don't blame them for doing it on this of all rounds. They're on pistols. Check this out, though. Kun, oh, he's ready. He's ready for it. How could I ever doubt him? Kun is a cunning beast. Nice little cleanup from there on out is going to be the recipe for success. Polar Ace North. Right, oh god, I'm so used to saying that name. Polar Ace Latin America. LATAM. I'm just going to call him Polar Ace. I think I decided on that on map number 1. But they'll get number 5. This train pick, although it's the decider map, is looking very comfortable for Polar Ace so far. I mean, look at this. This is this is so it's ballsy to go for this sort of thing. It's working out. Kun somehow picks up 2? I don't understand that. One with a Molotov. The nades are actually doing massive work at the moment. 2 kills with the grenades. One of them not even seen. And bomb down again. And yeah, I think Polar Ace have just stumbled upon a gold pot. The A bomb site is just free for the taking, it feels like. Whether they go fast or slow, it is just almost uncontested. Now I'm wondering what they try to do, if they try to, mix it up a little bit, if they have a player going late ladder or late Ivy, something of the sort. They could be in for a really nice time. Guns will have to be saved by sNtial. Pocker, I think you're a little bit off on where you think these players are. I'm not sure what you're trying to do, but I appreciate it. I don't understand what Close was going for either, but hey, here we are. Khan even goes up to the bomb. How? This is just really weird. I don't understand what that save was, but it's actually a lot of decent damage done. Polar Ace. Yeah, they'll be able to rebuy into it, but at least they make it costly. sNtial. Especially considering the 2 guns that they have is all that they're going to have. USPs, Deegs. It's not really promising other than Artemio and Pocker. Now Pocker. He's starting to push up. Oh, this aggression is going to be really nice for info, if nothing else. Is anyone watching? Yes, Juan is. I mean, this is so much decent information for Pocker. Because, I mean, part of the standard playbook for Polar Ace has been getting that upper B control super early on. The fact that they no longer have that to call theirs, and in fact, it's all up to Pocker. Because he finds the first. I mean, upper B is all his. They can force sNtial into, like, weird positions, Polar Ace, but that's pretty much all that they have going for them. They're making down and so much info over towards B. Basically, they have shut that area off completely and forced the T side to go over towards A. They're still trying to prawn for a little bit of that B control, as aforementioned. Close is right on the brink of it. Actually gives up his leg to the player waiting in ladder room, which I believe is MK. Yeah, MKN. Oh, but they're going back over towards B with the CTs have given it up. I like it. This is a really decent mid-round call from Polar Ace. If they actually commit this over towards B, it would be really smart. Khan, meanwhile, lurks elsewhere. Finds 1 kill. Khan with another. I mean, this is really where the fact that CTs have pistols comes back to bite them a little bit more. The pistols immediately fall with almost no damage reciprocated. Barely any time left for Polar Ace to make their move, but they do it swiftly. They make their way out into the B bomb site, get bombed down, play it from there. And it's another save probably for sNtial. How much money is going to be flooding through? 3,400. I mean, sNtial, you probably don't have to go for the save. I mean, realistically, this is a retake they can win, but it's like kind of a gamble. Yeah, they only had 1 Molotov actually. The more I look at it, the more I understand the fact that they're saving. Probably also don't realize that Khan is bleeding internally, barely making it through this round. 16 points of health, but he's gotten 2 kills, so I mean, that's impact right there. It's looking real good for this Polar Ace squad right now. What a bounce back. I mean, I'm not going to say I called it, but I called it after map 1 where I said, you know, you've seen all the comebacks that's happened when a team is down 0-1. And right now we are seeing that come to fruition. Double snipers in play from sNtial. We'll try to prove otherwise. Again, it's that same default. Polar Ace. Haven't really gone contested on it. Pocker hears much more information this time around, though, so he's going to be forced to back up, bring in a player to help with the cause. Mario. Overall, it's Polar Ace. I mean, this default has gone uncontested, and it's important just because of that. I mean, it's gone uncontested, and therefore they can just keep on using it and abusing it. Bomb even makes its way over towards B as well. It's looking to be a full-on B execute at the moment. Still, those CTs haven't quite budged from their A positions just yet, so it will be Mario and Pocker to deal with the most of this push. Now, the T's will be flooding in. Mario doesn't quite spot him, but Pocker luckily is quick on the shot. Artemio gets another. That was actually over towards ladder room, and it looks like sNtial, we're going to be going for that ladder pop, or excuse me, Polar Ace, we're going to be going for that ladder pop that they did a couple of rounds previously, and which was shut down completely by 2-2. And it turns out that 2-2 doesn't even get a kill, but his team still wins the round anyway. I think that it's about time to put that one away in the playbook, though, Polar Ace. It's been twice now that they have tried that strat, going late ladder, and then making their way onto the A bomb site after making full execute on the B. It doesn't seem to be fooling sNtial all too much. They are very rigid on rotates, which I actually think is kind of good for them. I mean, really, this can decide how Polar Ace decide to play out the last of this half. They could make it 4-11, in theory. If they win this, the money isn't going to be looking very good. In fact, they've already taken down the heaviest hitter on the side of sNtial. The AWP down. Mario still has his, sure, but they are getting kills all around at Polar Ace. They take down MKN to boot. Mario will really have to show up with his AWP, who's a superstar of map number 2. What a gorgeous shot from Alarcon. Alarcon, excuse me. At least 2-2 gets 2 back. That was fun to say. I think I'm starting to lose my sanity at this point here. I'm making a bunch of bad jokes. All the worst parts of my casting are coming out. But, you know, these teams have come to play. It's a 1-on-3 for Pocker. A man known for his sneaky ability, well, doesn't quite pop off as we would have hoped. He gets the first kill at least. Knows where at least one other player is, but the third player hiding behind Bomb Train is still very much a question mark. Oh, well, actually, that's been given away too, but, well, still, even with knowing the positions, he has to hit the shots, and that is a much easier said than done sort of task. Polar Ace dance, bob, and weave around the Bomb Train, and they make that round theirs. As it's now 4-8, sNtial. This, I mean, again, this is a changed team. They do not look ready for Train whatsoever. Polar Ace, I mean, again, they don't have to switch anything up too dramatically, and it's just not going contested. Some of the most promising things that I've seen work out for sNtial so far were shutting down that ladder pod that Polar Ace are trying to do. They have at least scratched that one out of the playbook, but I mean, other than that, it's been maybe Pocker pushing up towards B. That was like really big on information, but it's not something you can do consistently. It's not going to be part of your standard CT hold, and because of that, it becomes really scary. I mean, this could be a very one-sided half if it isn't already. Lots to play for here, sNtial. They won the first map convincingly, very, very convincingly, and they have disappeared from map number 3 so far. Given a free shot, Artemio will take them for free, although he misses one. It's still no matter. The man advantage suits the CTs rather well. Oh, there's so many targets to choose from, though. Artemio doesn't want to get overwhelmed. He has a nice sampling size to choose from, but he'll allow his teammates to get it in on some of the action as well. Now over on top blue, as well as Olaf. Or, yeah, towards Hell, excuse me. They'll consolidate onto the A bomb site again. Now they have to be careful to watch their flanks. Koklos is doing exactly that. Now moving over towards T-Con. Do they take this inner? I think they could actually take this inner, realistically. It's so risky to go for it, but okay. It seems that they decide against it. A smoke, a molly, and a great shot. I thought it was unbelievable. Kun. How does that work? I don't. Every time I see people hit shots like that, I'm just wondering, like, why does your gun do that, but mine doesn't? See, well, he gets at least 3 on his way down. Artemio didn't even spot the player over towards the E-box. I think he required a team call for him to become wise to the fact. I mean, this is looking insane. Polar Ace are just giving sNtial the sNtial treatment. It's honestly just pretty insane at this point. I mean, these look like, I don't know. Polar Ace have definitely come to play, and I'm loving their T-side so far. Not that they've, again, had to do anything game-breaking, but it's just working out perfectly. And, well, by the time I'm done with my cam path, there's already 2 kills underway. Artemio for 1, Pocker for no one, a missed shot for MKN. sNtial might have just stumbled upon their 5th round. As Polar Ace, well, they kind of lose that one in a pretty gross fashion. Oh, Christ, Artemio. That was pretty much almost 100% a kill for Alarcon. But no. sNtial. I mean, look, it's convincing, but I feel like that was more of a misplay from Polar Ace than well played by sNtial. We're seeing triple ops come out. Interesting choice. Okay, not a fan of this one, but I feel like it could work on Train of all maps, so maybe I spoke too soon. Now going towards inner this time, Polar Ace. This time they're switching up their default a little bit. They're getting upper control again, yeah, but they have grouped up all their players around it. Pocker takes a shot, backs off quickly off the angle, doesn't want to overstay his welcome because he knows that the visitors will be coming out in droves. Double smoke over towards sidewalk. Pocker right behind it is going to be calling for rotates. This is a perfect time for Polar Ace to actually go for that ladder pop that they so desperately wanted to pull off. Third time's a charm, perhaps, but they don't. They start to really slow it down now. Nade through from Juan, still poking. I mean, this is given time for sNtial to rotate back, and I really don't like this idea. I feel like, I mean, whatever. I feel like I'm just picking away at a team that's otherwise doing amazing. But I think in theory, if they want to make that pop play work or something of the sort, they could honestly just take it a lot quicker. Just go right towards the end of a round. It might have done them better. Right now, though, they kind of have to play for a pick, and their damage and their artillery don't exactly suit that style. They've given up almost all their nades, but MKN1 has just given up a chance at getting this round together. What was that? Uncharacteristic position leads to nothing. 2-2 with an uncharacteristic spray. Can't hit the shots. Oh, it's all falling apart. sNtial. This is not the team that won Mirage. I keep on saying it, but it keeps on ringing true. They look so different. They're not hitting their shots. They're not reacting to the plays from Polar Ace North correctly whatsoever. And it's just lopsided. Well, at least Pocker will get one on his way to the grave, but 10-5? This is one hell of a bounce back. Polar Ace, unbelievable on the T side of Train, are not even making this look competitive. Train, I mean, look, in theory, it's a CT-sided map. And I thought sNtial, they would start waking up. You know? I mean, map 2 was a close call. But this is just looking extremely one-sided. I mean, winning the pistol, Polar Ace, in theory, could easily get up to 13, even more. And if they keep riding that momentum, we could see this be done very soon. Really, all eyes are on sNtial at the moment to make this game more competitive. Because right now they have, I mean, that CT side was bad. I don't think there's really any other way to do it. I don't want to mince my words, but it wasn't good. They didn't get the rounds. Their rotates were rigid, and that it works sometimes. You know, it's kind of the thing with rotates like that, but I mean, towards the end there are some uncharacteristically bad whiffs from some players, like Tutu. I mean, Tutu is a great player. I think this series has convinced me of that fact, but I mean, look, even if Tutu went down only killing one person, that's a job well done. It doesn't always have to be like this crazy 3K spray down or anything of the sort, as what we saw earlier on in the game. But I mean, this is just, I don't know. I don't even know what to think. Polar Ace are looking real good and possibly might be on the track to close this one out quickly. It's been a long series, and this might just be the last halftime of the night. This best of 3 has gone the distance, and partially thanks to probably the world's longest halftimes. I have actually probably never seen a halftime take this long in every single game. They just really are taking their time. But it's no matter. It'd be like that sometimes. I get to interact with my audience. We're all spamming a very good emote. Wow, that is a good emote. I would pay for that. $5, in fact, if you wanted that. That is a good emote. I think when it comes to the game itself, though, I mean, Polar Ace, what more can you even talk about? I mean, their T side is just very bread and butter. sNtial just really do not seem practice on Train. No flack to them. I mean, they're great players. You saw how they can play, but Christ, they have gone missing. While Polar Ace North are still very much in this game. Maybe they just needed one map of warm-up like I was thinking. Who knows? Could this halftime break end already? Holy hell. If it takes much longer, I might just toss it to a little bit of music. Just because it's taken a good amount of time now. Every time I say that, as soon as I'm gonna bring it to music, the game starts immediately. So I'm just gonna do it right now. I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna bring it to music. All right, let's go ahead and toss it to some music while we wait for the halftime to start up. Back and ready for more. Just like that, halftime is finally over. That was a bit of Mr. Fiji Ouija, in case you guys want to know the artist. It was called The Mentalist. Now, this will have to be an absolutely mental comeback if sNtial want to make this comeback happen. It all starts with a pistol. This isn't an impossible scoreline by any stretch of the imagination, don't get me wrong, but Polar Ace are just looking way better prepared for everything on map number 3. This looks like their pick. Hell, if I didn't know anymore, I would say it is. They're just so ready for it. sNtial have a pretty decent strat at the ready. Great shot onto Snake immediately. That's huge. That actually forces Snake out of position, and the T's can start coming up right behind it. And, oh, man, this is a little bit awkward now. I don't know how MKN manages to stay alive for so long, but eventually it leads to a flurry of kills, and it's a 2 versus 3 as the bomb goes down. Still possible for Polar Ace Latin America to win this, but it's looking awfully good for the T side right now. Wanveg pushing. That was a kill that he really needed to get. Now there's basically a very slim to none chance here. Close even misses a smoke on the bomb. sNtial going in for knives, and knives out leads to a a pretty convincing way to put yourself on 6, isn't it? I think that was probably one of the best starts that sNtial could have had, I gotta say. You can't really get much sweeter than that. Convincing pistol, a nice strat, not really meeting much opposition on the other side. Might be the key to success that they need. Christ, well, MKN won. I'm just gonna call him MKN. MKN, I like that name. It's simple. Well, MKN, he's going to be joining his teammates over at B, where sNtial will have actually taken the site entirely. I mean, Polar Ace, they pretty much only invested grenades into this round, and those didn't do anything. That's basically their only chance gone. So this is kind of the expected result. 10-8, most likely going to be on the table. Actually, wait. Since Polar Ace didn't buy anything, they're going to be getting, what is it, 2,400? They could actually buy up rifles here. If they do that, this could be scary. We've seen a lot of it. I mean, third round buy-ups. Oh my god, Kun. I think he even spotted MKN one. Did MKN not? Oh, man. Well, Kun. Bit of a one-sided relationship at the moment. Come on, you gotta hit those. Oh, unlucky. Doesn't even get to take any guns to the grave with him. It's no problem, no matter, no issue. Now 10-7. sNtial might have just found their way onto an 8th. Okay, Polar Ace seems like they aren't going to be going for that third round bye, as we've seen for most of this series, to be completely honest. They're saving up fully here. I'm guessing that they want to get OBS. I was going to say OGs or AWPs, so OGs or OPS, but it just came out as OBS instead. I'm guessing they just want to get some of those scoped rifles out, though. Hence the lack of money or lack of money invested into this one from players like Koklos, who, speaking of which, is going to be the first face here. Trade out quickly by Snake. This retake effort is like on. I am surprised Polar Ace are really actually going for this so aggressively, but patience might have been a little bit more of a virtue in this sort of occasion, because they aren't really running any of these duels, and in fact, it's just going to be a complete slaughterhouse. sNtial now improving to 8, have to face their first of many challenges to complete this comeback. And it's going to be coming in the form of Koklos and Ko. I was actually going to say who's going to opt, but it looks like they dropped it to Kun instead. This really kind of decides all. I mean, sNtial, it just kind of goes to show you that if you win the pistol and follow-up rounds, around, I don't know, a halftime score really doesn't mean that much if you're able to win the pistol, I suppose. But sNtial are making pretty impressive showing on their gun round so far, just scrimming out A. It's much quicker than the typical sNtial than I would have expected, but it's working out to varying results. It's mixed at the moment. This bomb goes down, and 3 versus 3 for a retake here. Post-plant positions will really decide all. I'm liking this position from Poker. Not too fond of Mario's position, though, but it could work. Indeed it is. At least 1 kill, though. Old Bomb will be his victim, or will be his killer, excuse me. Oh, smoking out Bomb. Poker, his position comes to fruition. And sNtial will take number 9. So, again, within striking distance, we basically have ourselves an even game. Particularly after this round, too. Polar Ace, not a good idea to buy up into this, and I'm pretty sure they're echoing the same sentiments. They can realistically buy down to about 2K. So, scouts across the board. This seems about right. They're going to be having 2,900 into their pockets after this round if they lose it, which, I mean, with a buy like this, they probably are. So, you know, it's kind of low risk. They're not really trying to break the bank too much here, but they have a chance to break the bank of sNtial early on. I like how Mario is playing this at the moment. He's barely avoiding death for the time being. And I think they just might push out on top of him, but his teammates are ready to collapse all around and make this round a little less scary. Mario even gets another. The scouts doing okay damage. Not incredible, but it's working, you know? Keep an eye on Mario, though. This flank position could be huge. Koklos. Oh, he's not watching for it. He falls victim. And Snake will have to slither his way into a very sneaky position to try to make the clutch work. Has a scout that he can pick up quite easily. Spots the butt, I believe, of Artemio. Bomb down. Just trying to bob and weave between these trains. It was kind of a tough ask anyway. It's kind of like that scene in Scooby-Doo where like an enemy enters, or like the villain enters one door and then like, you know, I don't know, Velma goes through the other door. It's kind of like that, you know? There's kind of ducking and weaving, and they're bound to meet each other at one point, but then they'll just try to run away for a second. Like, that clutch didn't really have any legs, I feel like, here. But sNtial are better for it. Another convincing round under their belt. Their money is really starting to grow. Although they dropped the first kill. And the lineup, go for it again. Go for it again! Oh, what? Oh! Oh, that's insane! Kun gets it! Oh, my lord! Artemio is just absolutely demolished. Oh, God. Talk about a way to show dominance with the AWP. Through the wall. Oh, that is unbelievable. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm still off the high of that one here. Polar Ace run away with the round as well on top of that. Jesus Christ, that was crazy. I want to watch that one again, only from Kun's POV. That looks so cool. I was going to say, I mean, that was an angle that he could have gone for here. But it looks like, you know, they're just slightly more prepared for it, weren't they? Very wise to all the trickery That sNtial are trying for at least this round, but there's still more money in their banks here. A quick B play will be in order with Pocker leading the charge. The entry fragger and resident crazy man on the side of sNtial, it seems like. Always going for something so risky, so crazy, and it works out, actually. This time around, he's booked his way into a very interesting position. 2-2 finds the first kill. Pocker, oh, you gotta look upper, man. That 4x3 resolution seems to not be treating him too well. That, or you just didn't see him on the peripheral side of his vision. 4-on-3 for the retake. sNtial might have just struck right back. Oh, man. Alarcon gets one. But the CTs need to start moving quickly. Time is not exactly in their favor for the time being here. In fact, there's going to be plenty of enemies where that came from, Snake. No way. Okay, there we are. The gun, it's done. It's done. sNtial have won the round. Thank God. They at least stemmed the wound. That was an unfortunate round previously that all started with a wall bang and ended up with a massacre at the B bomb site. This time taking a bit quicker suits them a bit better too. That first kill from 2-2 really helped out. 11-11. This game couldn't be closer. I swear to God, Polar Ace are getting their money's worth out of me. I will be looking. Well, that's a kill for a kill. That seemed a little bit messy from Polar Ace, but at least they get the kill. And don't allow sNtial to get away with that basically free man advantage. It looks like we're seeing the numbers game come into effect once more. The refrag, all over the place, every which way. It's scary, honestly. I mean, in theory, it's something that Polar Ace could come out on top of since they've been usually the first one to strike blood. This is no different. They've even spotted a player towards upper. Just smoke the bomb. You can get on the bomb and defuse. You win. I mean, it's done. This round is over. Well, it's going to be now 12-11. Polar Ace North strike back with an equally as convincing round. Although they have a couple of hiccups as they're retaking, plus they drop a gun at the end of it. It's not shabby. It honestly is not. Polar Ace. It's a risky buy. I mean, their money isn't the best at the moment. It's the same story for sNtial, actually. But, you know what? Actually, taking a look at this round matters quite a bit when it comes to deciding the economy for the tail end of this game. Polar Ace, if they lose it, I'm not exactly sure what their money's going to be looking like, but I know it's not going to be nice. They're having 2,400, so they can probably get scouts or deeks or something. sNtial, I mean, they're going to be not getting much. Maybe they actually get a couple of upgrade pistols, but this round decides a lot, at least when it comes to basically a freebie for one of the two sides. So really, I understand the slow pace that sNtial are playing at the moment here. Early kill goes the way of Polar Ace for the time being, though, and a second will actually go the way towards them as well. So, I mean, it's even Stevens all the way through, but the dam eventually breaks, and two go the way of Pocker. And the T's are just winning these. Their refrags are basically deciding these last couple of rounds. Close. Does he actually go for this? It's risky. A 1 versus 2 is very much doable. Oh my God, especially since he's able to get that one onto Mario. His real challenge comes in the form of Artemio, though. Close, playing against the clock. Oh my God, no, what are you doing? Oh my God, how's that work? That was so damn risky from Artemio. But he gets the kill, gets the AWP, and now Polar Ace are shattered. Oh, jeez, that was just way too close for comfort. You know, I talked about the two possibilities that one of these two teams is going to be hurting economically if they lose this one, but somehow both these teams have found like the sweet spot where both of them still both have really crappy money. I honestly, like, Polar Ace could win this. Oh my God, close, more like up close and personal, because he gets one. But striking back in a glorious fashion will be sNtial as they find two, make it 3. And can you count to 5 with me? Because I think we might be seeing 5 go down in just a couple of seconds here. sNtial bringing the bomb over towards B. Don't want to play games with pistols. They want to get the bomb down and wait. for number 26 to come through. 25 is looking awfully good. The forecast is sunny for them. They need just a couple of more. Their freebie is done. This is, again, the round where Polar Race's economy was shattered. This is one that I expected them not to win. But from here on out, it becomes a little bit more difficult. Great shot from Alarcon. He gets an AK to at least bring home with him. Consolation prize. Full buy-up from Polar Ace into this next one, most likely. Inching ever closer and closer to the end of regulation. Right now, sNtial. They've gotten their, that gun round that they needed to win. They've gotten the freebie. Now double snipers are out, and now this is the, again, super scary situation for, I would say more, actually, yeah, probably the T side more so than anything. I'm a bit worried about how this one could work out. I mean, any round that you give up at this point, you're just basically asking to lose. And, man, Kun, that is a really depressing figure to have go down early. He has honestly just completely blown everybody out of the water. 28 kills, nearly double some of the players on his team. Hell, even 4 times the amount that Juan has. The only person even close is Alarcon, who, speaking of which, is holding down Ivy. He has been a very solid player, hit some gorgeous shots, but this seems a bit too ambitious. They seem to agree with me. Juan, he's caught off guard as he tries to wiggle his way towards ladder. This is probably the worst possible scenario for Polar Race at the moment. Yeah, they're losing the round, but it's not even necessarily in a close fashion. Oh, this is real bad now. Pretty much that everything that could have gone wrong has. sNtial, oh my goodness. This has already been a monstrous T-side half so far, so even if they were to somehow lose at this point, it's still very admirable how well they've done. I mean, 9 rounds so far, that's great, but they're only going to have 2 guns, Polar Ace, into this next one. 3,400 into their pockets, so Juan can probably, or Juan, Snake, and Kun can all probably pick up scats or FAMASas, all the sorts, and Aller will not be worrying whatsoever. They're good on money. But, I mean, this is a really rough buy. It's a buy you cringe at. But, they have to swallow the bitter pill. This is a very, very important round for obvious reasons. Look at the top of your screen if you don't believe me. sNtial, this has been a very, very strong T-half for them so far. And I'm starting to think that both these teams are just really damn good at T-side of Train. Great shots early on, by the way. I want to mention Koklos, unfortunately, just eats a bunch of damage for free. Luckily, the first kill goes the way of Kun, though, so the damage really only matters so much. But Mario's able to get one elsewhere on the map. Smokes through, and oh, sNtial, the world is their oyster at the moment here. They have to be real careful about how they tread, though, because the CTs are rotating quick. Mario has spotted one. Don't re-peek that. That is so dangerous. Oh, my God. It's just absolutely priority that they do not peek it, because they are so close from so many different angles from meeting death. Excuse me. However, that equally seems true for Polar Ace. Look at their players. Look at the left side of the screen. Snake is the only one who isn't within 1-shot range or 2-shot range of some of these AK-47s. Like, just based off of the health alone, sNtial have this one in the bag. But, I mean, look, I've seen crazier things. Let me just put it that way. Kun. Holds down the line. Oh my God. Oh Lord. Oh Jesus. I don't know how that works, but he gets the kill anyway. 3-on-3. sNtial pushing out onto the A bomb site. Snake has gone completely undetected. Koklos gets a kill on top of it. And this round that looked all but given to sNtial has fallen apart at the seams. It's Pocker against the world. He needs to get bombed down, but needs to do it safely. Being pushed from Juan and Koklos. Both of them, again, low on HP. Pocker has it all to do for here. This would be the ultimate redemption if he can get away with this after some unfortunate performances on maps like Mirage. Oh my god, he's done it. He's gotten the first one. Second one, surely he's going to be shoo-in. He's going to get it. 15 for sNtial. Unbelievable. A 1 versus 3 Parker with the ultimate redemption arc. Dust 2 and even the beginning of this map were so rough for him. There were some shots that, there were some situations rather that he was in that, I mean, has got to be salt in the wound. But he really comes back and he strikes with one hell of a vengeance. 12-15, and Parker books his team onto the fast track to victory. Polar Ace now look to storm in over towards the B bomb site here. And sNtial have beat them to the punch. That stack from Polar Ace is just going to be nothing more than a distant memory. A 4 versus 5 to make the retake happen. sNtial have made the B site their home. They are extending for more here, and they are going for blood. They get more. 2-2 with a second kill in the round so far. Doesn't get away with number 3, but Juan, he will be getting one of his few kills that he's gotten all game here. It's just a complete mess. It's a bloodbath. And it's sNtial taking the series 2-1. Unbelievable performance in that second half. That was a change of team. It honestly was. They looked like a different beast completely, sNtial. They went quiet for pretty much the entirety of that first half. But they woke up. That T-half, they seriously just dictated the pace for the entire series from there on out. And, I mean, hell, what can you say? It was gorgeously played by sNtial towards the tail end of that half, and it's going to do them well. sNtial now win the series, move on in the ESEA Latin American playoffs. Well-deserved. I mean, honestly, Polar Ace, they went down swinging. I have a lot of respect for how they're playing it. Definitely tough opponents, and definitely not the last of Polar Ace that we'll be seeing for at least a good while. Maybe out of this season, but definitely not out of our hearts. It's about time for me to call it a break, or not call it a break, call it a night. This has been a very long cast, 3 hours nearly, or 4.5, nearly 3.5 hours rather. I mean, look, it has effectively baked my brain if you can't tell by how much I'm messing up my sentences. I'm definitely a little bit tired, so I'm going to go ahead and head to sleep. Maybe pet my cat, play some Animal Crossing, all the good stuff. But if you guys enjoyed this cast whatsoever, please drop me a follow. It means the world for me, either if it's on Twitch or on Twitter, or both if you're feeling really nice. It really does help me out a lot, and, makes me a little bit more known. I'm trying to become the best caster I can be, and, well, games like that are just perfect practice. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Later.